Recording.
Recording started now. Okay, guys, so it's a nice rainy weather, and to some people's disappointment, I actually like rain. Some people say no, I don't like rain. Hey, I even like snow. Seriously? Okay, yeah, something seriously wrong with me. So
I just migrated something yesterday. I'm here, believe it or not.
migrated something yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very good. The mailbox you're talking about.
Yeah.
All right, from
The
Gmail.
database, not the mailbox.
The what?
The databases.
Oh, databases from on-premises to Azure.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, in the Azure class, maybe we'll try to do that too. Okay. All right. Let's get going, guys. And I want to. Okay, let me just set up one more thing.
Are we going to talk about node and vote majority?
Node and vote majority?
Node.
I know what
and
you're
vote.
but what has this to do with what we're talking
No,
about?
I'm asking you if it's going to happen, if we're going to talk about it at all.
No, like
it's not online. It has nothing to do with online. I understand, but is this something we're going to be talking about?
If it is part of the, what we're talking about, then yes. If it's not, then whenever it comes as part of the topic.
Prerequisite.
Yeah, like if it's an exam objective, sure, but otherwise,
it's a great objective.
Yeah, but has to be related to exam objective. Oops. Okay.
I think it is.
Well, then we'll have to see when Azure comes. Sure.
Awesome.
Okay. So here, so guys, I'm going to go ahead and I'll just log into that Firefox and come on, portal. There you go. Portal. And yeah, so this is the Outlook. Look out for Outlook, and Admin Center, and then Exchange Center. Yay. And yeah, I need to move to some other better area for good internet. Oh, okay. So far, so good. Exchange. And we were talking about a lot of topics and then doing some labs. So we were on roles and we were rolling around until so rolling around is different and roles is different. But yeah, in roles we had an issue of giving proper permissions for the desktop support, and that is where then our hero Sal talked to Microsoft, and that's a very good thing to learn. We learn all the time, every day, every minute. So that's very good, and we could just try that as well. So before that, just a recap of what happened in last episode. Okay, class. So we talked about everything in mail flow. Then we went to roles. We talked about migration topics, and yeah, okay. Hopefully, I just sit after the class and create that lab for Gmail to Microsoft. This Exchange migration. At least one mailbox. Hopefully, I don't pay $18 now and do nothing. So because you need to have a Google Workspace. So hopefully, if it's just the trial version does it instead of always. Okay, and then there are in mobile we talked about last time that if you log in from Outlook in your cell phone, then it appears in your mailbox. So please do refer to the previous videos where it did appear, but that is not MDM. But one more thing about that is which I just it just came to my mind because we're talking about a recap. So in the mailbox, when you go and this is manage mobile devices, I did log in last time from this mailbox from my cell phone Outlook, iPhone Outlook, or if you log into Android Outlook, yeah, it's still there. One more thing that that can be done, not only that it gives information. Oh, I just closed it. So another thing that it does is, okay, I just wanted to show something else, but this screen keeps coming up, and if I close it, it doesn't even let me go back. Wow, this is bad. Now everything closes. Okay, Microsoft, you need to work on it. So mobile device, when we click on it, which I'm not gonna, so you can see some more options here. Block access, wipe company data. Ooh. Anyone knows what's the wipe company data? Does this mean installing some antivirus? What does that mean? Anyone knows? Wipe company data. Anyone did it before? No. Okay. No one did the wiping of the cell phone before? Okay. You've heard about wiping? Oh, okay. So a wipe is that if you do that, did on cell phone. Yeah, did on cell phone. Okay, so Jamin says in the chat, you did it on cell phone. Okay. So the thing is that does it wipe the whole cell phone or does it wipe just the company Outlook data? This option, if I just click that for my cell phone, I am logged in from this account in my Outlook in my cell phone. If I click this button wipe, will it just remove my Outlook or will it wipe the whole cell phone? Or wipe means format, right? Put back to factory default. Only company data appears. So Jamin says that, right? Okay, so guys, we need to be very careful with this. That when we are wiping, in fact, there was an Intune feature where there was wipe the cell phone. Why do we use it? One thing is that if it is lost and in the wrong hands, and the company and the person who stole the cell phone would want to steal data from the cell phone, the company data. So as soon as you report that cell phone is gone, you send a remote wipe. It just formats whenever the cell phone connects to the network. The wipe command comes and everything gone, right? Or at least company data is gone. So which one is it? Does it wipe the whole and put the cell phone to factory default settings, or it just wipes the company or Outlook only? So that's the question. And where are we? Sure. Only company data as it appears. So, okay. Yeah, it should wipe only company data, but do try this at home. Okay. Yeah, when I say do try this at home. So create rule for similar devices. Now, block access, yes, you can block access. This is understandable, but allow block access. But to wipe company data, this is very good feature. At least this much MDM or mobile device management is here that you can actually, if your cell phone is stolen, and the user must report right away, and the administrator just make sure from the user, hey, is that the user? Suppose a user texts you in the company, hey, my cell phone is stolen and please wipe it. And I'm in vacation and that's a totally different number. So obviously you can't just trust that, right? Because the user might not know that somebody texted that, okay, user might be out in the vacation, but somebody else did that. that hey, write my name is Adele, while Adele actually is in vacation, yes, but she never asked for wiping her. So just don't trust on text. Also, you have to then make a call or tell her that hey, can you call me on this number from wherever you are, and like from public phone or take phone from someone, and just make sure that it's the exact user who is asking that please wipe my company phone. But if you do wipe, obviously, well, the company data will be secure, but the user will be so pissed off if the user did not request that, right? ONK. That said, this is just a small area what we wanted to, what I just wanted to remind. Then the admin roles, what we were doing was that we were trying to create. So in the roles, you can just add any user here, right? In the roles, you can add any user here, and that user will become that administrator. That user will have that privilege. So this is pretty straightforward, nothing rocket science here. So you just add the user, and the user gets added and gets whatever you added it to. So the compliance administrator and what permissions do you get?
Sorry, Amir, I missed it. I missed that for a second. Rocket science, you said?
We have done all the PowerShell commands. It was working fine. Perfect. Thank you very much. We're just finishing it now. So
yeah, perfect.
I'm just kidding. Yeah. No, we haven't started. So,
but did you say rocket science?
I said rocket science. Yeah.
Oh, rocket science. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, rocket.
Rocket.
Okay, so it's no rocket science that how to add the user here and then check what permissions are there. But you don't want to give all the permissions here, since we have done already all the PowerShell stuff just now before Sal arrived. Yeah, everything is done. Let's go for the next topic now. Yeah, I just mentioned I was kidding, so I don't know why I was doing that again. Okay, so the problem is that if we create an add role here, and then I'll have to go quicker actually, because then newer topics won't have time. So here, I'll just go for test and then e-test. Okay, and test. We're adding a new role, right? So we're just hand picking the roles. Okay, this one, how about that one, and that one, whatever. And next, and then how about giving it to some member? So we were not able to do that. Oh, let me in. Oops, there are two other guys. Yeah. Are they in? And seriously, I need to figure out this whole interface. Chat used to be a separate window. Oh, it is. Okay, there's a pop-up. Got it. And participants used to be separate window. Okay, now I figured out. Just go. Okay. Anyway, yeah, we were talking about the thing. Yeah. So we are creating a custom role, and we are having issues with the custom role, right? So I'm just gonna go for Patty. And next, and just when we try to add a custom role with custom picked commands, it doesn't work, right? Oh, font size. Font size is already. Font size already good. Where? Hey, did I just close that? Where is? Oh, I was removing the message to correct the font size. I think I closed the whole window. Oh, I did. Okay. So admin exchange, I'll just go there and I'll create that exchange. Okay, sorry guys. I'm opening it again, and yeah, what was the, oh, it was not 120. Okay. So font size is back. So it's opening. I just clicked this admin exchange and it's now opening. I mistakenly closed it. So what I was saying was that I was in roles and I was trying to make custom roles, and I was, wow, roles. I was trying to make custom roles. It's like green roll or something, or chicken rolls. Okay. So custom role test. Let's just get going. And because we talked about this topic before, but yes, one thing was remaining. So I handpicked some topics here, then next, and I give it to someone, the custom role, and then at the end we get the error, right? So Patty, and then next, and then we click add role, and we get this error that is about to happen. And there you go, no error. What? Okay. So I think the PowerShell commands that we tried, which we didn't, it actually worked. So it's working now. So I get the role. I'm able to add the custom role. Okay. Yeah. So test 2, right? And I'll go for the desktop commands. Last time we were not able to do that, but we did do some changes last time, which may have implemented after 24 or 48 hours. But what I was checking here was address list just for the desktop custom role. And custom roles, we know that we can use it for just giving exact privileges what we want to give, and not everything. So desktop support and loss prevention. Okay, next. I'll just do one more time because it's working now. Fine. Well, let me put it. League. Okay, next. Add role. Oh, it's working. There was I followed one article where I just click and did that, and it didn't implement at that time. Why? Because it said actually would take 24 hours. Now it's like full week. After that, we're trying, so would have worked. Okay, so but the thing is that we can just copy paste that here in the group, the command PowerShell command, so others can follow that, right?
The initial error, Amir, in the organization management role. So you have to go inside the organization management role, which is the highest privilege. Service account, scroll down.
We were having error with not able to create custom role, right?
Yeah, it wasn't created because.
Yeah, but
because
it's
of that.
So we're good. I mean, like we did the troubleshoot before, but then we don't have to repeat all that. PowerShell, because we're going to be separately doing PowerShell as well if it's PowerShell.
Did you run the PowerShell at all before?
No, we haven't. We
That's
will.
what I'm saying. So then you'd have to look at the role itself. That role itself maybe is what's allowing us to do it, right?
Exactly. But well, as far as this is concerned, this is resolved because I did add at certain points the administrator role, and we can refer to the previous video as per the documentation, but it was not working because it took 24 hours, right? To implement. Now it's 1 week, so it got implemented.
Murphy's Law.
Right. So, okay. But the thing is, yes, you have a solution, and what we did was also it's resolved. Okay.
Yeah, so the solution resolves it.
Yep. Cool. Hey guys, we just have a few million more topics. So let's go for more topics here. We were talking about mobile access and then mobile device mailbox policy. And last time, yeah, we discussed that too. We went for mobile access. Then I logged in from the cell phone. But thing is that this is all in terms of MDM, right? So the main main software that does MDM. Everyone knows that? Anyone knows the name of that software that does MDM in Microsoft? Which is the MDM software? Intune, which is Endpoint Manager. Endpoint Manager is now Intune as well. So main mobile device management and huge amount of features are there for this. That is done there, but here you can just remote wipe. Just remember that you can remote wipe a cell phone. Once the user logs in, that's it. But why would you even allow a user to log in, right? So that would be the question. Not every user who has a username password should be able to connect to company Outlook from cell phone. So how do you block the users from connecting to Outlook from cell phones, from computers which are compliant and are under company policies. From computers, yes, go ahead and log in, but don't log in from your cell phones to Outlook. But anyone knows how to block a user from trying to log in to Outlook from cell phone? A cell phone, it's another device, first of all. Second thing, it could be stolen easily, right? So how do you block a user? Well, without Intune, I'm asking. With Intune, it's easy. Well, that is also not easy. I mean, you have to do a lot of steps. But without Intune, how do you block the user? So mobile device mailbox policy is there. It used to have certain block features. First of all, obviously, what I showed you just now, and you could have referred to that too, that if you go here and here, and you have log access here, right? So, but yes, once the user is logged into Outlook, you have to check which user logged into the Outlook and then just simply block access. So after logging in, you can block. So that's one. But if there's any policy here that lets you block the user, that we're gonna go for mailbox device policy, mobile device mailbox policy. You can create mobile device mailbox policies to apply a common set of policies or security settings to a collection of users. So what are the common settings? If I go new here, what is available as a mailbox policy, but don't expect it to be very comprehensive because it's not an MDM solution. Mobile device management solution, it's not, right? So if we go for test mailbox policy, this is the default policy. No, allow mobile devices that don't fully support these policies to sync. No, if the policies are implemented or synced to cell phone, then we don't want the mobile to have any kind of Outlook available. But if that's what it supports, I'm going to click next here. Add security settings. Select the policies that you want to enable for Exchange, ActiveSync, and OVA Outlook Web Access for devices. So require a mobile device mailbox password. Okay, well, that's better than having no password. So mobile device mailbox. So as soon as you open Outlook, it's going to ask for a password in your cell phone. So at least put some kind of restrictions there. Obviously, we won't allow simple passwords. Require an alphanumeric password, yeah. And password must include, and then you can make it make the life of a user harder. So password must include this many character sets, 4 minimum. Request encryption on device. Wow, that is risky. It's not risky, but obviously, if it is company data that the user is accessing, then the company data must be encrypted, right? So the user has to accept whether so user normally is coming with his or her own device, right? Which is BYOD, bring your own device. So what happens in Android? When we deploy policies. So I love the way Android works. Android cell phone, suppose there is cell phone, and then there is iPhone. So it's iOS cell phone, which is Apple, right? iOS cell phone. So what happens is when you have Outlook here, so when you deploy company company software there, first you have to deploy company software called company app, Intune company app. Then that's the name of the Intune company app. And then what happens is that in Android, it makes 2 sections for you. One section for just personal apps and one section for office apps. So it does that. So there's personal apps and office apps. So it's clearly segregated, divided, and you get to know that, okay, I have an Outlook which says which is under office apps, and I have an Outlook which is under personal apps. So you will have two Outlooks, you will have two Words, two Excel, two PowerPoints. But you will know that with Office app, there will be a lock sign with all the apps. Tiny lock sign with all
We're gonna-
apps. Yeah.
Amir, we're
Yeah.
gonna talk about this in Intune, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to talk about this into,
Okay.
but since we're talking about cell phones,
Yeah.
so the problem with that is when you are
Mhm.
doing it with Microsoft, with cell phone, with iOS, so in that case,
Yeah.
happens. So definitely, since
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to mention some of it,
Mhm.
some of the pain in the butts, pain in
Yeah.
the necks. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing here.
Mhm.
Okay, here the Outlook is same
Oh,
for
okay. I see what you're doing.
Office and personal. So that's where it becomes painful. Now, if you know the topic is still remote wipe, right?
Mhm.
So when you wipe, stand-up wipe here, which is what we were talking about just now. So it clearly simply, and not it's just another. So wipe is one, and the second is encryption. So when we were talking about encryption, it's easier to check that encryption could be implemented on just the Office side of the applications, not the personal side. So when you enable encryption here, encryption, request encryption on device, so it will on Android, it will only encrypt your Office apps. It will not encrypt your personal apps. So users do ask that a lot, and then we say that, hey, don't worry, this is going to be happening. But in iOS, that Outlook is encrypted while you are logged in from Office account, right? And you are also personal account. So in my iPhone, I'm logged in from the
Mhm.
Office account from which it has been encrypted already. But then I log in from a personal email, which is also thanks to Office then encrypted. The only bad side is that now my Office Outlook also shows my other company accounts logged in. Once I was in meeting and sharing my screen, and my director saw that other than Office email, there were two more emails there. So if I had an Android kind of thing, then it would have been hidden. So anyway, this is the main area where when you request for encryption, it's going to encrypt only in Android. It's very clear. Here in
Mhm.
iOS, there's an issue. So that's the point. Okay, let's go to I'm just gonna paste that here
Mhm.
and here. All right, so let's go for the next one, which is the next topic.
What were you saying about your director, Amir?
What?
What were you saying about your director at CAO?
Yeah, so director saw my screen and I had two more
Oh.
emails there, which were actually not the company emails. But yeah, so many of my colleagues have that too. So I think it's a pretty common thing.
Yeah.
Normally people hide uh, other company emails, obviously, from that same device, which has been
Mhm.
given by the company. So mobile device management.
Got it.
Okay. So encryption goes clearly here, but it does not. So Android has, I'm really amazed with Android stuff.
Yeah.
And my director actually says that if you're in IT, then you must have Android because it has so much automation. And we were so,
Is
yeah,
he paying for it?
no, yeah, one is from
Yeah,
the,
who cares?
but
Android it is.
even if your personal cell phone should be
Yeah.
Android in IT.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Okay.
Okay,
So he
so,
said,
uh-huh.
as long as you're paying for it, he said.
Yeah, yeah, but she recommends. Yeah.
Unless you get a
So,
free phone, unless they give you free phones, free nowadays is
oh, but
you gotta work for free.
because of the technology she's saying, because it has so much automation, and
Yeah,
I
the technology, you're right.
that much automation. Okay, so Paul says in the chat, does BYOB is still a thing? bring your own burger? Oh, okay. So, or companies provide from employer. Oh, BYO, you're still talking about BYOD. So yes, it's still a thing, and it's a big, 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 big thing. I mean, it's not every user in the company says that, hey, don't give me two phones. My own one phone I want to manage, and I still want to connect to Office, Outlook, and Teams through my cell phone, but my own, I don't want to handle two phones, right? So then it's BYOD, and we have in our company, we have strict policies on that. When the user goes through those policies, and I'll be showing you all that in Intune, that how do we manage that our company data inside users' cell phone, and it should be secure as well. Anyone else has any policies in their companies for BYOD?
There probably are, but it's not something I can discuss about the way they do it. But you know, in terms of what I've seen in my career, yeah, there are lots of policies and
Yeah,
you know, different mindsets and different you know, run the business tasks that they have for those kind of things.
yeah. So we're going to do that all in Intune, but yes, BYOD is a big, 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 even bigger thing than before. So
Yeah,
it
of
was a
course.
concept introduced before, but now it's even bigger than that. Everyone wants to connect to company from their own cell phone. Then we have so many good policies there that really separate the company data and secure it from the insecure data of the users. Users have like VPN deployed there, and third-party VPNs, they're insecure as well. Some of the other applications that are outright outrageous, actually, that the users download in their personal cell phone, where our company data also resides. So how do we make sure that our company data is always secure, right? So that's what we're going to discuss in Intune. Okay, here we're talking about then password, maybe password length, number of sign-in failures before devices. 5. So how many sign-ins would you want the users to do? Suppose the user forgot the password. Remember in BlackBerry, if you had seen that era, we used to have 10. I think in iPhone also it's 10, that if you put your password wrong 10 times, the whole device will be formatted to factory defaults. So it could be your phone is stolen, and then the hacker is actually trying, or the stealer is trying to guess your password, and after 10 times all data is wiped, so your data is actually secure. That's the most important thing, right? All the pictures and everything. But what number would you want in this, that after this many attempts to put the password, the device should be wiped? Yeah. Any suggestions?
You got to think realistically.
So
Because it's asking you the question, right? It's saying how many sign-in failures. Realistically, how many sign-in failures would you want? Right? It all depends on
what
realistics,
put here?
reality,
So
what the method is used for.
no, like in reality, you can tell me then what's the number.
And it all depends on what Microsoft says too, right? Because Microsoft will tell us one thing, and you know, sometimes it's not the number that you want to give, right? Whatever the default is usually what people would want to recommend, right? Or
Yeah,
less.
majority is 10.
Yeah.
So
But that's for somebody who doesn't know how to use a phone and tap a number or tap a letter or tap on or slide a code, you know?
okay.
It's realistics. It could be it could be between 5 and 10.
Yeah, it could be 5 and 10, but once we were talking about that, and I got a suggestion that let's make it 20, because some of our users in our company are actually not tech savvy, and one of the board directors is so old, she has issues with passwords, so we were like, what? Okay.
I'll tell you a scenario, Amir, for length, for sign-in failures. If your director comes up to you and says, hey, I want 20 sign-in failures, you got to do 20 sign-in failures. But the rest of the employees, you should moderate them to a specific number that suits the company, right?
Yeah,
so it doesn't matter if we give them 10 or 1 or 15 or 100. You know, if the director says, hey, I want 100, okay, we'll do 100. If I want 200, okay, I'll do 200, whatever the director says.
The question is about what would be the reasoning to have 5? What would be the reasoning to have 15? But yes, the overall is 10. Or if the boss says, obviously we have to do it. Obviously, she hired us, right? Or he hired us.
I'm gonna sit back and let the rest of them. Okay.
So yeah, here 10 is common, but you can just put any other as well. But you would normally, you know, an IT department, we then do reasoning for that, and then the reasonings are different. And yeah, whatever the company policy is, we just follow that and get approval from boss. Require sign in after the device has been inactive for that many minutes, and enforce password lifetime and password recycle count. So how many times the password was changed, and forced password lifetime days. So how long do you want to have the password before it is again expired, and then sign in after the device has been inactive for. So idle timeout, how much you want. If your office data is there, people have been asking, hey, make it 5, like after 5 minutes of idle time, but that's for the computers. Even that is long. Some companies have 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, if you're not doing anything, it's just gonna lock the screen and you have to just put your username password again, right? So yeah, it's different for different companies and depends on what are your reasoning and what you got approval for. So here we see just that password has to be complex. That's it. But when you are in Intune, you see huge amount of other things, and it gets so confusing with so much terminology, new terminologies there in Intune that, oh man. Then we have to consult the dictionary. Okay, so I put something, minimum password is 1 to 16. I'll just put something here, minimum 8 characters, and it needs some kind of value here. And lifetime is the valid password lifetime range is from 1 to 730. So I'll just go for days. How many days? I will go for 30. After that, please ask to change. But in my company, even that was so my some of the IT people, they do think about the users, that some of the users are not tech savvy. If they can't get their way, they will talk to the desktop support. So we have lots of tickets then. So that's another reasoning that you should have in mind. Anyway, 30 days after that, yes, it's a standard to change the password. In banks, it is like that. It's very strict. We all change the passwords. We hate it, but we have to change it. But in non-bank, non-sensitive environment, we have relaxed policies there. So I push for very strict policies, but then my boss says, "Hey, we're not in a bank. Come on." So I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure, whatever you say." Obviously, so password recycle could be also history range is, so how many old passwords you want to remember, you want to not remember. So suppose I say 10, so last 10 passwords you cannot give now. You have to keep thinking of other passwords, 10 new passwords. Of 11th password can be one of the last 10, right? You can then repeat after 10 passwords. So that's really painful. And if you increase that, it becomes even painfuler, right? Okay, next. So it's just password policy, nothing else. That's what we get from here. Create and 8 and on done. So we get that it's only password policy for the cell phone. This is how basic the MDM is, or mobile device management is. Remote wipe is there. The crucial critical ones are there. Suppose your company has a less budget and they don't have Intune licenses. Then this is basic. You can do remote wipe. You can allow. Okay, so I'll just put it here. Mobile device. What are the 4 things you can do? Management in exchange, online dashboard, right? So that is what are the things you can do? Allow access, obviously. Okay, block access you can do, and what else you can do? Remote wipe. That's the most crucial one, right? Mobile is stolen. You already can't afford a license for Intune. What do? At least you should have this, right? Remote wipe. And then there is password policy. 4 things you can do here in Exchange Online for mobile devices if you have Outlook inside, right? ONK. Now, let us go ahead and talk about this. Okay, so we're gonna go for, we talked about mobile device. Now let's go for reports and mail for report. So these are very important ones because you should know that who's doing what in your organization. Auto forwarded messages report. If anyone is auto forwarding by default, I think I put one auto forwarder there in last week. If it had gone for any kind of report there, nope, or maybe I removed it. But on Alex, I put auto forwarder. So yeah, it didn't catch anyone yet. And monitor for potential data leaks when people in your organization automatically forward email messages to an external domain, such as a personal email address. Okay, so I'll just quickly do that, and later we will check that again if it was caught. And I'm sure I did it for Alex or Justin, but it was not caught still. Anyway, when Outlook opens, I'll just, yeah, there you go. So I'll go for this forwarding, enable forwarding. So every email from now on, please forward it to my private address and keep a copy of forwarded messages. Save. Well, yeah, I don't expect it to just give me a report right away, but I did save it. Okay, close it, man. Okay. Now, obviously, right away it won't give, but any new activity that is going on. Oh yeah, one more thing. I'll just send myself an email and what just so obviously it should be forwarded unless the forwarding on the organization level is blocked. I think that was I guess. Anyway, later I will check that if it was auto forwarded. That's what we know. And one day, Monday or Sunday, it's going to report that. Okay, mail flow, inbound messages report, user support to monitor message volume and TLS encryption for each connector, mail flow between your Microsoft Cloud organization, your on-premises email servers, and partner servers is often more important, and you might want to apply extra security to these connections. Inbound include messages from the internet and from on. So if whatever type of setup you have, if you receive an inbound message, all the inbound messages will be put here. So 4 messages from the internet without a connector. Yeah, we didn't have a connector. We didn't need a connector. We don't have on premises. We don't have a special organization on the other side. We discussed that when do we need connectors. Otherwise, in most cases, we don't need connectors, right? So with TLS, transport layer security, the inbound message came and it was secure, so that's good. I'm going to go back to mail flow map report, view and learn the mail flow patterns to and from your Microsoft Cloud organization. Look for trends and anomalies and fix issues. So who are sending us emails, from which organizations emails are being sent, and mail flow map is there that coming to Office 365 from internet, just 2 messages, but in a typical organization, it would be thousands of messages, right? So then maybe there was a burst of message from one company on just Sunday evening, and so you would see some kind of anomaly there or something unusual. So try to see this report at least once a month or once 15 days, that what kind of mail flow is going on there. Non-accepted domain report. So obviously this report shows messages from your on-premises organization where the sender's email domain isn't configured as an accepted domain. This is like certain scenarios, different scenarios here. You want to connect to it, you don't want to connect to it. I mean, like you want to check the report. Non-delivery reports, this would be the most interesting one. Monitor messages that aren't getting delivered to the intended recipients. When a message can't be delivered, the sender gets an email non-delivery report NDR with an error code that indicates why the message wasn't delivered. This page shows the details of the NDRs. So all the NDRs, this would also show that if you have a lot of errors coming, obviously there's a big concern then, hey, who's sending where? And the message somehow is not reaching, right? So you would have to check this NDR report especially. That would be my top priority here. Maybe every Monday or every 15th day, I would put a message there, reminder there in my Outlook that check NDRs at least, right? Outbound message report, this is just all the outbound messages that were going SMTP auth client support. So you get the idea that these are for specific scenarios. There are built-in reports that Microsoft thinks are important reports, right? Top domain mail flow status report. So which domain the mail flow has been mailboxes exceeding receiving limits. So has anyone been sending your user some emails that have a lot of attachments? So that could be also out of the ordinary as well, and you can check with the troublemakers. Dynamic distribution group report, if anyone using that, reply all storm protection. This is very important for companies that have call centers and the companies that are dealing with public, the companies that are having thousands of messages coming, or they're expecting thousands of messages. So reply all storm protection. If this is also for those where you have sent email to 26, suppose, people, and those are chosen 26 people for some suppose meeting or party or something, but then people started reply all, yeah, I'm in, and reply all 26 gets I'm in, all 26 gets again I'm in. So that would be reply all storm. But these are things that we should be checking reports for. Out of date connecting on premises exchange servers. So connect out of date connecting. So obviously if you have on premises exchange server connected from your branch, then this report is for that. We don't have any, but Mailflow does have very, very important areas to keep an eye on every Monday or every fortnight at least. Report on migration if you were doing migration. So it will give you a report on that too. There's no migration going on. Insights just gives you, use these recommendations to discover trends, insights, and take actions on to fix issues related to mailbox and mail flow in your Exchange environment. So this is mail flow. So Insights really gives you very good recommendations. In Azure, especially, what happens is that the advisor gives us recommendations. I will give you an example that one of our two of our databases were really costing us a lot, and the advisor had that recommendation given. So I got my eyes on it, and it was saying if you reserve those instances because they were running for 2 years now, so go for yearly reservation and you save 40%. So then, if I had not read that advisor recommendation or insights, I would not have known that we can actually save 40% there. So overall knowledge is there, but obviously there's so much else going on, we forget that. So anyway, always go for recommendations that Microsoft is giving for your particular environment after your usage has gone a lot. So what is public folders here? Public folders are folders for public. That's it. Let's go for next topic. Just kidding. Okay, so public folders, we don't use it basically in our company, but many big organizations are using it for quite some time. So, so what's going on here is that public folders, what are they used for? It has been there for quite some time, so the companies are not getting rid of it. But there are Teams now, there are OneDrive, there are SharePoint. So public folders are designed for shared access and provide an easy and effective way to collect, organize, and share information with other people in your work group or organization. Public folders help organize content in a deep hierarchy that's easy to browse. Users will see the full hierarchy in Outlook, which makes it easy for them to browse for the content they're interested in. So in English, what it says is that you want to share, it's a shared access to collect, organize, and share information with other people. So I'm just going to show you how to use it. and whether you really need it or not, because there are alternate ways. Public folders are available in the following Outlook clients: Outlook on the web, formerly known as web app. Okay. Public folders functionality of the classic Exchange Admin Center experience is available in the new Exchange Admin Center as we continue to work on updated versions. If you're using Edge Incognito and this page isn't working, enable the third-party cookies. Okay. And I just wanted to show you that they were saying for quite some time that they are discontinuing it, and they haven't. Maybe public do like public folders, right? Okay, so let's just go ahead and try to implement that. What are public folders, and why some old companies, it's the old ways are something that the big companies would not want to let go of, and they would protest that, hey, why are you discontinuing? We use it a lot. We're so used to it, and we are your clients, right? ONK. So what we need to do is public folders. So that's just the information, but let's just go for the lab. So what we need to do is here, public folders. First, we need to create a mailbox for public folders. You will see ultimately what's the end game or what do we get from all this. But let's follow some steps. We create a mailbox here, add a public folder mailbox. And I'm going to create a mailbox. Inside this, there will be a hierarchy of public folders. So we can go for public. Once the mailbox is created, then we're going to go for public folders. Now the public folder is add a public folder, right? And I'm going to click add a public folder. Suppose it's sales. Okay, company public folder. Company public folder. Do you want to make it maintainable? This means that not only the public folders are sharing tasks with other team members, but also you can email them as well through public folder. And now external users to email public folder, yes, that can be done as well. I'm just going to click add here, and this public folder will appear in your list of public folders within 5 minutes. Okay. Now I'm creating a company public folder, and then inside a company public folder, I will be creating more. So I'll go for add a public folder again now. And this time I'll go for actually, I was supposed to double click that, and I need to create a subfolder here. So it is opening and change it. Mail properties, edit general and mail properties. Yeah, but that's not group membership. So it's still going to be available. I need, when I double click, it should go inside so I can create more, right? Mail flow settings, email forwarding, email address. So that's the main one. But if I click that, it should go double click and go inside. Otherwise, I'll just create another public folder. But I want that public folder to be inside under the company public folder. Maybe they have removed that functionality of sub hierarchy, although they do show have subfolders. It could be also that mail enabled, since I enabled it, so it's not letting me create subfolders. So I'm just going to go quickly there to sales public. So sales department public folder, right? And this time I'm not going to click email enabled. I'll click and add. It will appear in your list within 5 minutes. Okay. Although it's there, but its functionality may not be there. If I click that, yes, the screen still opens, and then there are folder permissions. Now we have created public folder, and they say that it's going to be available within 5 minutes. But yeah, in 5 minutes, I think I'm just going to refresh that. And I wanted to show you one more thing here. But where do public folder really appear, right? And what's the purpose of those? If I go to the email, so this is Exchange Admin. I'm just gonna go to my Outlook, right? Where forwarding is still enabled. I'm going to go for folders here, right? It's in my email and folders and right click. It doesn't appear right away, but add a shared folder or mailbox, assign, okay, share and permissions. Yes. Lower the, oh, okay. So public, oh yeah, it's in favorites, sorry. It's in favorites. I'll just go down here and add them. Or favorites are always up. Yeah, right click and add favorite. And then we can go for, so it's not showing the public folder here yet. But it does let us add public folders, either from folders or from, so share folder mailbox. If I go for company, so they are still there because it's not take 5 minutes. One thing, but if they have change their functionality, obviously that's another thing that we have to figure out. But otherwise, when you right click favorites, it appears there whatever we have created in here. Company public folders, sales department public folders, right? So yeah.
So you can do hierarchy.
Here?
So yeah, so I mean, if you just click over, you see like that folder icon appears. That folder icon appears. Just click on the folder icon.
Oh, that.
Yeah, and then you can clear like under that folder as a folder.
Okay, that's from last course. This has changed now, so I'll just. That's why I was thinking, hey, I'll just double click that and it opens this. Seriously, thank you. Yeah, it does definitely. Very small things are not seen, so thank you for pointing that out. I'm just gonna click that, and then yeah. So now it's under the hierarchy. So thank you for that. Company public folders, and suppose there's MKT marketing DEPT public folder. But what public folder can achieve is already achievable with Microsoft Teams, OneDrive, and all those, right? So yes, I mean, like newer companies don't use that public folder. This is the old feature, and it's not just being used anymore. I and some of the my friends' companies, they don't use that because there's Teams and SharePoint and OneDrive for sharing anything. Okay, Razan says, is this a general mailbox for all Go members? No, it's within the mailbox, a hierarchy gets created. Otherwise, it's not used as a mailbox. And we only use these links to share some data with other people. And that was an old way of doing things. Till then, Teams was not there, SharePoint was not there. But now it's just company public. I mean, it's deprecated, or many newer companies don't use that. But how does it work? Okay, so Sal says here, hey Sal, you're not in participants list, but you're in chat. How is it?
Sorry?
I can see you logged in the.
I'm here though. I'm here.
Okay, so this is, yeah.
I'm in the video. I'm live. I'm part of the show.
Okay, so yeah, no, it's the new WebEx. I think they really.
Yeah, we'll talk about it after.
Some reasons I cannot see. Serious.
It's okay.
Yeah, no, it's the Cisco WebEx. Then the
Yeah. We'll talk about that after. Just had a question for everybody here.
Yeah. So do you know how to enable public folders in Outlook client app? So Sal asked a question for everyone: how to enable a public folder in client app. So public folders Yes, anyone knows? Because I think they've changed that too. But it used to be here under favorites, unless I Google it. So anyone knows?
On the client app, not the web app.
Oh, client app would be
Yeah.
pretty
Your
much
the VM that we created.
that same. You can just right click favorites there as well. But it's not appearing there right now. I think I'm trying too soon. But oh, add favorites. Yeah, it's the same thing. Public folder starts appearing here right away. But I think because it's online, so they made a change. Okay. How? Okay, where do we add public folders?
On the VM though, Amir, not the web app.
Web app. So to add public folder, right click folders. Yeah. So yeah, it's just and add public folders to favorites. So when you right click folders, and that's what I've been doing. But that's what I'm saying, that it's just too soon. I'm trying that, and add shared folder or mailbox. That's not public folder. Assign policy. No. Sharing and permissions. Create new folder. But that's just a folder. Basically, we used to do that. But if Microsoft changed it, then yeah, it's not appearing here for now. Yeah, so in Outlook, how do you do that? Yeah, we should have that.
Definitely.
I'll just turn on the machine while this is turning on. It's gonna take a bit of time. Okay, it's restoring. Yeah, so that's one thing. But if Microsoft keeps changing that, where are public folders in OVA? Yeah, there you go. Public folders. Anyway, when you right click, add public folder to favorites. That is supposed to come when you right click the folders. And related content is this. There's a plus sign on the right side as well. But after a few months, Microsoft does tend to change whatever was there. And then we have to figure out again, right? Okay, so once it is available, I will be showing that to you. Because we just created the public folder, it takes time. In online, everything takes time. So refresh or refresh here as well. Anyone who's following, if you're following, then you can also confirm. Right click on the folder option. Yeah, Vijay stays in the WhatsApp chat, and right click on the folder option. Yeah, that's what I was doing, and it does take time to appear. So Vijay, are you trying that, and is it working for you?
Yes, I'm working.
When you're doing exactly the same thing, click on folder.
Yeah. It was an option, add public folder to favorite.
Yeah. So that option has yet my case. Maybe it's because I'm using Firefox and Microsoft hates Firefox. I'm just kidding. Okay. So one day, Monday or Sunday, it's gonna appear here, and then we will show. But yes, it comes here. So in fact, I'll just put that screenshot here, copy image, and put it there, because that's the place where it appears. And Vijay has already confirmed that he can see right away this. Okay, so public folder, there it is. And so what about public folder in client, in Outlook client? So I think it is already logged in here. Oh no, not this one. Anyway, Windows 11, yeah, it's still logging in. So one day, Monday or Sunday, it's gonna log in. Then I will open Outlook there, and then Sal can also show and tell that how, or we can figure it out. It should be there in Outlook client as well, the same way. Come on, wow, what a scene. Okay, come on, move it. remove it. We want to.
Your server on, Amir? That's connected to AD.
Server, I didn't want to turn on, but I clicked it accidentally. Oh, okay, still trying to log in. Good. Oh, there you go. So we're in the Outlook client directly, and we're reporting from there. So where do we add that feature of a public folder here in Outlook? Yeah. So you were asking a question, and you want to share, or you still want to have the question asked?
Yeah, I'm waiting for an answer.
Okay, guys. So Sam is waiting for answer. Anyone knows how to add the public folder in?
That was an interview question that I had that I gave to somebody.
Yeah. Do you know how to enable public folders in Outlook client app? Anyone has answer for that? Okay. So yeah, we cannot wait a long. So do you want to share, or
Well, I'm
shall
gonna
we?
wait for somebody to come up with an answer. If I get one
I-
answer, then I'll answer it out for you guys.
Okay. So
Fair
let's
enough.
go. Huh?
If somebody gives me an answer, then if not, then I'll give the answer out.
Okay. Or do you want us to Google?
No, I don't know. Why would we Google? We can also create a ticket with Microsoft.
Oh man, no. Let's not go that. Because we have lots of more topics to discuss, so we can't give that kind of time. We have to move ahead, right? So, okay, well, if somebody control bus 6, wow, what?
Yeah,
Control bus 6?
yep.
You're kidding me, man?
I swear to God.
Control bus 6.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're
wow.
hired.
You're hired. Definitely, you're hired.
Yeah,
Control.
exactly. You're hired.
I've clicked Outlook. I'm doing this now. Control bus 6.
On-prem.
And what is it?
On-premises client app. Where are you now, Amir?
Yeah, I'm in the client app. See, Outlook. So this is Outlook.
Yeah, it should work.
Okay. So I'm just gonna click on it again and Control plus 6.
Yeah.
And
If you have it enabled, it should work.
So
In your Exchange, is it enabled? There you go. It's done.
For-
You did it. It's done. It's done. It changes the look of it. You'll see it. As soon
it
as you see the
adds a
look,
folder.
yeah, but you see the look of it, the actual first horizontal, that's what
Outlook.
it is. No,
Yeah, definitely.
you see where your mouse is? To the right of that, underneath where your inbox drafts, you see the look of it, it looks totally different.
It's quite nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Where are public folders?
Scroll down. If you have a public folder, it should be in there.
Yeah, we have. Well, if I go, no, it's not in. Oh, well, it's not groups, it's folders, right? So I'll go here. It's just bin and calendar, conversations, sync issues. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you're on the right path. Listen, Amir, I gotta get going.
Okay.
I will
Well,
talk to you guys. I'll talk to you guys next week.
all right. Cool.
All right, thanks, Amir.
Okay. So, yeah, guys, we're gonna continue now, and here, public folders. So there's that. If we click, oh, okay, it was this app. But the thing is that if the public folder is not yet reached here, then we cannot see that. But now Outlook client, right? So where do we add public folder in Outlook client? Since we are on it now, Outlook client. It's supposed to be again use favorite public folders in Outlook and the web. Wow. Public folders in Outlook. Control 6 to see public folders in the folder pane. Important, if you don't see public folders action, blah, 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 see your local Exchange email administrator, they must set it up for you. Right click public folders and click the new folder. Oh, that's all it is. So it should appear like this. public folders. It's not clear yet, but anyway. Oh, there you go. It's clear now. But yeah, public folders can be added here. And copy image. I'll just go for that too. And Outlook clients. So let's go ahead. Outlook client showing public folders. Okay. That is but you know, without seeing them here. Yeah, so we have to just check that. As I said, we have not been using, I have not been, oh, it's trying to connect, that's why maybe. So all the things are not there because it is not connected to Exchange yet. This is up to date, but trying to connect. Well, this was a local feature right now, and send and receive. I'll just put send and receive all folders and let it connect to Exchange first. Oh, it's connected now to Exchange. Okay. So in that case, I've clicked the mailbox or envelope here. I've right-clicked here on the favorites. But yes, I have to just check myself as well how to connect. It should be something very small, right? And when we click apps and folders, so public folders, if they are there for assigned for this user, it should be there. Exchange. So Exchange is showing here. Oh, there you go. There you go. All public folders are here now. So yes, if it is assigned, but what's the benefit of public folders? We still are, you know, we can still scratch our head for that. So I'm just going to extend that or expand that. So do we see the company public folder there? Oh, yes, we do. There you go. And sales department public folder, and I had a hierarchy there. I created one that is marketing folder. Okay, now we see in Outlook as well under the folder, the public folder, and there, if I click that public folder, what can we do, right? That's the question, $1 million question here. And when you right click here, so you can create a new folder here, yes, but great. Okay, Hazel, have a good weekend. Cool. Okay, here, once we go for public folder, and then I'm gonna go for home button because there's a new button that appears here. Yeah, new post, there you go. So that new post, whatever you do there, so I'm just clicking this so just to know what are the other options here. Serious? It's just new post. Oh yeah, there are more options. So this is all you can do in public folders. So suppose you go for chat, suppose you go for appointment, suppose you go for meeting, contact. Mainly what I was using in bank way back was the task. The boss would give us task here, and in our public folder, we would have that updated. This we would get that update here. So my Outlook would show public folder. My boss Outlook would show public folder. If I just create a task here, you know, install Exchange security features today. So that would, oh man, it's just too slow. Oh, yeah, I wrote here. Oh, there you go. Okay, so mark, not mark complete, but I want to save it. Is there a save button? Is there some button here? Do it today, right? So this is the task that I've given, and I'm clicking save button here. Save, I've clicked it, and then I'm closing it. Oh, save is here as well. Save and close. So this is under the marketing department, the task I've created here. And if I click here and then go back to here, it's just too slow. And Monday or Sunday, it's the task will appear. But the thing is that this task that I've given that appears in whoever has the public folders added and have the permission to see that, they also see that task that has been created. So marketing department guys will have permission there to add marketing department users. So where do you get the permission? Let's just see that and finish this because it's pretty simple. Suppose it's if I go to the folder here and there is market department. So there are, I'll click on that, and then there's folder permissions. So you can only add just the marketing department people, and they, everyone will see marketing department there, but they won't be able to see what's inside. So whichever users you add there, and the permission levels are contributor, non-editing, author, editor, publisher, publishing author, publishing editor, owner, custom. But the thing is, there are better ways to do this. There is Teams to do this. There is SharePoint to do this, right? So I'm not sure who uses this now, but it's there. It's not like who uses this now, but I'm sure the banks have it for decades. The public folder feature, they don't want it moved away. So those who are used to it, they will always use this. Otherwise, Microsoft Teams and SharePoint are great enough alternatives to this and better alternatives than this. So anyway, you can just add some users here and that's it. Then suppose Adele, and you give permission of contributor. And when you go to Adele mailbox, she would be able to actually create something there in the public folders when she just has to go to Outlook, right? And to that. So it's here, and that's the screenshot I'll just share. Oh, it actually it rhymes here. I'm sharing the screenshot. No, I just wrote my rap song. Okay. So it's here. I'm able to share. See, okay. So yeah, this was in. Let's go to the actual screenshot. I mean, the one that is showing public folders.
So this is shown online
So this is
or
on
the
the
web?
no, web one I already mentioned where it is, but in fact I'll check that again. But this is Outlook clients, which 99% of the client users use. They all use this Outlook client. So that's where it is an Outlook client. But when we go to web, which very less amount of people use, so it's supposed to be right when we right click, it's the feature is supposed to appear here, but it's not appearing for some reason. So either it's here or if I add favorite, yeah, I'm still not using it. It's showing it here. So it could be, we could just wait for the online one, but it's already appearing there in, oh, you know what we did here? No, it's not even here. Folder. The web app, even the apps feature doesn't work because the folder is here already. Create a new folder. Yeah, sure. It's just not appearing there. So that's why. No, nothing. So shared folders don't appear here in web app. But where they do appear, we have added it there. Either they appear here or there. So I'll be, checking this after some time as well, because when we right click add favorites, add folders, they should appear.
So it don't show on premises Exchange.
So this is on premises. No, it's not Exchange. It's clients. The client application receives emails, right? So
client application means like anybody who's working in their own desktop.
Yeah, this is my own desktop. And suppose there are 10,000 employees, they will all have their Windows 10 or 11, and they will have this Outlook client application, this one, right? So that client application, inside this, they need to see the shared folder, and that's where they see that. And that's what majority of the company's employees use, the client application. This is on-premises client side, not Exchange. Exchange is server side. This is client side.
This is client side. So how this folder appear? Say Control F6.
Yeah. So which is this? More options or Control 6. Just
Okay.
hit Control 6, and then it's when you click this folder, then this all appears here, and yes, that's it. And then when you go down there, just expand on search change.
Okay.
Cool. And okay, guys, this is like, okay, Jamin has shared something on WhatsApp. Oh, but the image is still loading, I guess. Well, yeah, it's still loading, I guess. For me, it's loading because of my fastest internet on the planet Earth. Oh, it's now loaded. Okay, so I'll just share it. Yeah. So Control 6 to public folders, and yeah. So you can add public folder to your favorites as well. Yep. Okay. Add to favorites, public folder to your favorites. Right click on the add to favorites. That's what I was doing, and it's still not working. So this means we can still wait for a bit more information on how to do for web app, working with message folders in on the web app. So yeah, that's the link, and definitely that's the way to go for web app, but it's not working. Maybe on your side it's working, so that's good. Actually, yeah, we just said that for him, he has right clicked on folder, and it's working for him. So yeah, so this is web app, and right click on the folder is this. And what I'm doing, it's not showing add to public folders yet. Okay, so guys, this is overall public folders. Not much, as I say again and again, that what you can do with this is not that advanced, and you can do the same things. What do you want to share? Share email, share chat. Teams does that already. Appointments in Outlook you can do separately as well, and in Teams also you do that. Calendar, meeting, contacts, you can share contacts with each other. We do it in Teams. Tasks, we do it in Teams as well. So those who are used to this share, public folders, they are doing that. Otherwise, new companies, they don't do that anymore. So in our company also, we don't do that. We don't use this. This is an old feature. But those who are used to it are still doing it, still using it. Okay, guys. So this, I'm going back to Exchange Admin Center, and there. So what did that? Yeah. So yeah, we've talked about public folders as well, and then we go for organization. In the organization, we go for sharing. So these are just the settings in the Exchange Admin Center. It enables FreeBusy and other calendar information sharing between federated Exchange organizations. So when you go here for sharing, you're sharing your FreeBusy information. What is FreeBusy information? So this is, if I go to my Outlook web app and then go to calendar. By the way, I remember in last class, I put the web app policies and I put that remove the calendar, but that didn't work because calendar was unchecked for the default web app policies. So calendar was supposed to be gone from all web apps, but it's still there. Anyway, so yeah, that web app policy didn't work. What I was saying was FreeBusy information. What is FreeBusy information? This in the calendar. You can just fix that from on Monday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. I'm busy, and the rest of the day I'm free. So that's called FreeBusy information, right? So that FreeBusy information. So now let's go to the diagram. Let's go to the diagram. So here you have on-premises. You have company here, Toronto branch, and you have here Toronto branch, and you have here an Exchange server, on-premises Exchange server and Active Directory and everything, right? So that Exchange server has a lot of mailboxes inside, right? So those mailboxes are, suppose you have like 2,000 mailboxes, and mailboxes of mailboxes contain emails of clients. So 2,000 users are in the employees are in the company, so their mailboxes also get created, and those mailboxes open in Outlook client that we were just seeing now. So suppose that's there. Now the company has hybrid presence here, and so they have Exchange online and Exchange on premises. Suppose Exchange online and on premises. So and they have moved some of the mailboxes here as well. So some of the director, maybe there are 2,500 clients, so 500 mailboxes have been moved. 2,000 mailboxes have not been moved yet. Now the calendar information of all the users here. So calendar information, calendar free busy info, right? Calendar free busy info here for these 500 people. Their mailboxes are in an Exchange online. That free busy information need to be known by the people in or Toronto branch, the people whose mailboxes are still living in Toronto branch Exchange server, on-premises Exchange server, right? So their calendar information, the calendar information of both of them actually. So it would be calendar information of the on-premises of the people whose mailboxes are on-premises, and calendar information of the people who are in Exchange online, or whose mailboxes are in Exchange online. It needs to be exchanged with each other, right? So that would be the problem, that when you have Exchange server on premises connected to online Exchange, then some mailboxes have been migrated here, and many mailboxes or some mailboxes still remain here. But the people whose mailboxes are here, they need to know, because obviously the meetings go on every day, right? So they need to always know the free busy information of the guys whose mailboxes are in Exchange online, and those guys whose mailboxes are in Exchange online, they need to know the free busy information when they're free, when they're busy. They need to reach their calendar basically. So that calendar is living here for those whose mailboxes are living here. So basically it's saying here in this feature, they're saying organization sharing, it enables privacy and other calendar information sharing between federated Exchange organizations, which just means that when you configure the organization relationship here, so the two orgs or two setups are combined together, and then the calendar information of all the users here is sent down, replicated down to the Exchange server here, and the calendar information of all the users in Exchange server, it's sent up to the Exchange server here. So when the users here open the client application Outlook, and then they go to, when they open Outlook, and then they go to the calendar, and then they import the calendar of other users, they see that, oh yeah, he or she is busy on Monday. Okay, let's have a meeting after the break at 1 o'clock, right? So that information, if suppose that information does not sync, so John here wants to have a meeting with Bob, and Bob is here. So Bob's calendar free busy information did not sync for some reason, right? In that case, John would see that, oh, Bob is free on Monday all day. Okay, so I'll book that from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. suppose, right? I'll book that 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Now, while Bob is actually booked from 1 p.m. till 4 p.m., Bob is booked already. But that calendar free busy information did not sync for some reason. Maybe there's a slow internet, maybe the data dropped, And now there will be confusion in the meetings, and John is expecting Bob to be there at 2 p.m. and he will protest to Bob, hey, I set aside a lot of my tasks. I'm a really busy guy and I was waiting for you and you didn't come. And Bob says, hey, I already showed in my calendar that I'm not available. So it's not my fault. So whose fault is it? Well, Exchange admins have to check if the FreeBSD information was updating on both sides at that proper, whenever there's a change, it updates right away or not. So it's the interconnection over the internet, it's moving. Exchange admins have to see that all the time what's going on, right? So that's FreeBSD information related concept here. So when we go for add organization relationship, obviously, if Exchange server was shared, first of all, it is installed and then it is shared over the internet, then it is connected with a connector to Exchange Online, then we can come here and check all the and configure all this, that yes, I want to share FreeBSD information between the two branches, right? So that's the FreeBSD information, and I'll just put that in the calendar. WhatsApp and in the Outlook as well. FreeBSD information. Okay, so and that here as well. Yeah. Okay, so if we go ahead and so individual sharing or organization sharing, yeah, that's the same concept, is the same. You just want some individuals' FreeBSD information to be shared across on-premises and cloud, or you want the whole organization's calendars to be shared across on-premises and cloud between them, right? So that's sharing. And then there's settings here, list view preference, select normal view or compact view as your preferred list view settings, mail flow, and then so if you go for list view, see lists in either normal or compact view, apply a setting to all lists in the admin center, or set your list view preference on each individual page. So admin center is where? This is the admin center, right? This is the list view. You want to list view varies on each page. So compact view for all lists. If I click that, I hope I don't mess up anything. But compact view, it just changes the view of the admin. I mean, you want to go for normal view or compact view. It's not a very big deal. You can see that there was a compact view and they were smaller fonts here. They were taking smaller space here. This one, so it's just that. Maybe there are so many items showing there. If it is bigger fonts, you will have to scroll down to see. And if it's smaller fonts, you can see more in one page, right? So that's just that. And no big deal here. And I'm going to go back to mail flow. So here, manage your organization settings for sending and receiving messages, right? So when it comes to sending and receiving, turn off plus addressing for your organization, turn on sending from aliases. So when we say plus addressing, I'm gonna click learn more here, and one day or Sunday is gonna open. As of May 2022, plus addressing, also known as sub-addressing, is enabled by default in Exchange Online. Sub-addressing is an industry-defined way to support dynamic disposable recipient, not sender email address for mailboxes. An SMT address uses the basic syntax local -part at domain, for example, and Sean at contoso.com. Plus addressing uses the syntax local -part plus tag add domain, for example, Sean plus newsletter at Twitter. So the original email address must be valid. The tag plus tag value that you add is arbitrary, although regularly corrected restrictions for SMTP email addresses apply. Anyway, this is showing that plus addressing just adds more information in the SMTP address list, and this could be so if we go for using plus addresses, I don't have to use that, as plus addresses are not aliases that are configured on the mailbox. They don't resolve to a user's name in Outlook clients. This limitation results in plus addresses being easily identifiable in the to or CC fields of messages. So overall, plus addressing would be just extra information about that actual email. If I go there I'll just open the Exchange Admin Center again here, duplicate tab. So that was not there before, but they have added maybe recently. I'll just go for mailboxes here. Okay, active users, mailboxes, and the way they were putting the SMTP address. So they were adding some extra information there just for its own, sake. But we are not concerned with unless we really need this feature. Let me just show where it is. Add addresses. Alternate address. No, it's alias. But there's one area where it's aliases. Manage username. It's not here as well. It's for SMTP. It was showing, and now I have to check it out. Device no, messages no, mail. Manage global address display availability. We still have to explore all these features. Conversion, edit, exchange, properties, delegation, management forwarding, management address. And they keep on changing. Edit, exchange, admin. Oh, wait, it just loaded Exchange over again. Okay, so I will have to check that feature myself as well. But where I wanted to show you was where it shows SMTP addresses. At that area, normally it shows the plus addressing as well. And we don't have to really, change that unless there's a specific use of this. No, I will have to check that myself. The plus addressing, but that was not there before, so I have to check it out. Okay, that was the last attempt. I will take some good time to after the class custom attributes. No, it's not that. Okay, so I will check the plus addressing, and in the next class, hopefully I remember to share that information. But it's something that I didn't have to use for a long time. It's just for getting the email addresses detectable, findable in the to, or when you're about to email someone, then when you're doing the suppose new email here, and then you go write some address, and it just discovers that address as soon as you're trying to type something in the start, and then it just detects that and you select it. If you're typing the first time, then it searches that and it is able to search it in the Active Directory and put it there. But I'll just check some more areas for that and let you know later.
So I think I found it.
Oh, that's
yeah. If you just click on a user and then go to the general section, click the user.
Yeah, the user. There's
and then general, and then go to the user's email address and click manage email address types.
Oh, manage email. Oh yeah.
And then you will see SMTP settings and go and edit it.
Thank you. It was just there, but because of the class time, I was searching it really fast. So SIP setting, SPO setting, and if you edit that, it is related to this. You can add here some more characters as well if you want. You can create an alias type stuff here as well, but it's still we don't really need that. Suppose the company changes the company changes that policy. Hey, we should have something related to the branch as well with each email address, which I never saw before. Why would they add branch to a user, or add anything, or tag only that it's dash MKT marketing department. Okay, so Paul also has mentioned this. They use that when 2 or more people have really exact same name. Then okay, that makes sense as well. Exact same name, then you have to put some extra, information for the other name. So just to make them separate. Normally, if there's really same name, then and it happened many times in our organization as well. So we just, exactly same name. Maybe there is like John, Bernard, Shaw. If they have 3 of those characters, then we change them, or we go for, putting Mr. at the start of one. But yes, other than I have a coworker named Dave. Okay, so his email is D20 and he's the 20th Dave. And okay. Yeah, so we can add that's also a scenario where if the same names here, but otherwise it's just adding some tag to the name. That would be the best scenario, yes. That if they're exactly the same names, then you would want to do that. I was thinking of any scenario because I never had to use that, and if there were same names, we would just still figure out something else, just separate them. Yep. Okay. So, but that's interesting feature. I will check in my organization exchange if actually we don't have to exactly same name guys till now. In previous organization, I had to face this, but we came out with something else. Yeah. Was someone trying to say something? Okay. Main flow. Oh, that main flow had this. So plus addressing for your organization, and it's actually turned off. So the plus addressing is already there. So when we're putting some name there, and if it's exactly the same name, it might add some extra information itself by default, or it would just, or we could just come up with something and turn on sending from aliases. Now, alias email we can create here. So suppose I go back to, it's the same setting here. So I'll just close here. Aliases, we can create aliases like you want another name for, suppose it's a service mailbox and you want to it to be called something else. So service mailboxes or email addresses that have service name like Dynamics application mailbox 1 or no reply or info mailbox, right? Those are the mailboxes that are service mailboxes. You want to name them something else. Suppose you go for mailbox and then manage contact information. There was aliases as well. Actually my junior admin does that all stuff every day. So, but the display name, first name, last name, and well, this is the contact information. Now, for small things, again, I have to search, but I was just there to change the aliases, email types. When you give alias, manage hide, mailbox, jump in, it was not here, right? Just to give alias, I had changed alias many times here, and then I would go others, and alias was somewhere here, right? Wow, I'm going fast, and then very simple things I'm not able to search now. Custom attributes, manage automatic replies, manage mailbox, set limit, mailbox. No, it's the limits. We've gone through all this before as well, but some of the major policies are still upcoming, where you would have. Okay, so the alias must be here then. But app settings, mobile devices. Okay, guys,
So you can click contact information.
General. Yeah, it's the contact information, right?
Manage contact, and then you will see alias.
That was the alias. I was here and then I went away from there. And actually, I put the alias in. CEO of the company, so be afraid of me. Okay. But else, well, see. So yeah, alias there. Thank you very much. And this means I'm searching too fast for very simple things. But yes, now this is not a, yeah, this is a name, excuse me, alias. But we come up with even full email addresses for aliases as well. And change, there's another name that also comes with that. And can you email from alias? So this would be, alias at master 5-in-1, 5-in-2 .info, whatever the domain is. So they're just saying that, do you want to support that instead of DLP at master 5-in-2, do you want to actually send an email from alias? Now, this is ridiculous. Obviously, I will change that. So if we go for CEO only as an alias here, so CEO at master 5-in-2, can you email? Can you actually use the alias to send email as well? This is not supported by default. So if we go to this feature, so turn on sending from aliases is not, well, it's not enabled. It's supported, but it's not enabled. So you want to enable that, then you can do that. We haven't done that. So aliases, from there, we cannot send email. But yes, it's a company policy. Company wants it, enable it, otherwise don't enable it. The original name remains there from which you can send emails to others. Turn off SMTP authentication protocol for your organization. SMTP authentication auth protocol is by default turned off. It's as it's the old authentication, it's not modern authentication. Modern authentications now go for we may have talked about that before as well, but modern authentication go for much more secure version of SMTP auth protocol. So SMTP auth protocol in turned off in Exchange. So let's just check it out as well. Enable disable SMTP. Did Microsoft disable SMTP authentication? Overview, 2021, Microsoft announced that effective, they will begin disabling basic authentication for Outlook. And those are, SMTP auth will also be disabled if it is not being used. The thing is that simple mail transfer protocol just is responsible for sending and receiving emails, but it's not as secure as the newer versions of protocols are now. So this is by default just disabled. And how do I enable? Well, obviously it's basic authentication. Basic authentication is very insecure, and definitely a basic authentication which has lesser security features. Encryption is very basic level encryption, or we can say there it's not stronger encryption that is there. So that's why it is not recommended to be enabled. When Outlook connects to Exchange to download emails, the less stronger authentication could be cause of hackers connecting between the Outlook. So suppose there's Outlook client here, and Outlook is connected to Exchange to download all the new emails. So emails arrive through Exchange, right? And whenever you open, suppose in the morning, you open your laptop and then you open Outlook, and then Outlook is connected to Exchange. Now it's downloading all the emails. Or if it was already machine was on all the time, then emails were being downloaded. But when it is connecting, there's authentication going on, and if it is a less secure authentication, the hackers could actually hijack that session. Then the hacker could actually pretend as you and open their own Outlook and just download all your emails there instead of you. And you will say that, hey, I'm disconnected for some reason and my emails are not downloaded. while the hacker actually hijacked the session and downloaded. Either you are disconnected or you're still connected, and hacker actually made a copy of all the emails. The connection made a copy of all the emails and downloaded whatever you're downloading is being downloaded there as well. So if it's an advanced and genius hacker, he would do that. Otherwise, it would be you're disconnected and hackers pretending to be you with your authentication information. So that's why stronger encryption, if it's not there, authentication mechanism is not there, which is strong, then it would be disabled. Turn on use legacy TLS. TLS is transport layer security. Transport layer security. So transport layer security is that with TLS you can just move. So whatever encryption you're implementing, that is implementing to emails in transit, right? So in transit means emails are traveling. Emails are, if they're sitting in the mailbox. So suppose you open Outlook and there are so many emails inside in your mailbox, right? So that would be encrypted, but that is not in transit email. That is at rest email. So there's at rest and there is in transit. There are two ways we say it. So at rest is obviously which is not moving. It's resting. It's just there. It's sitting. So, and it is encrypted. But when it is moving, it should be encrypted at that time as well. So TLS or transport layer security should be there to encrypt all the data that is moving or traveling. Transport layer security. Now, yeah, security. So because of now TLS, which version you have, because TLS have been introduced way back, so there are less secure earlier versions and there are more secure newer versions. So TLS 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. Now they're saying that enable turn on use of legacy clients. Why would you even want to go for older versions of security protocol? Can you think of any reason? I have one scenario, but can you think of any scenario where why would you want to enable legacy version of TLS? So legacy version would, if okay, I've asked that question, but in what way you would see that enabling older versions of security protocol, which is less secure, obviously. Why would you want to even open that? Because Microsoft has put this option for a reason, right? So the scenario would be that if you have some kind of old application that's so critical to you, and you are suppose you purchase that application in 2010, and at that time the company developers developed that application, and they were saying, the company was saying that yeah, our developers will be upgrading it with all the newer versions of Exchange. But that application, that company actually got suppose bankrupted, and they went out of the market. All the developers are gone now, and you are stuck with that application with some critical information inside, critical processing that are happening inside. You want Exchange to connect to your legacy application on old application that supports only old protocols. So in that case, because if you turn off the legacy TLS and supports the old application, when big companies who have spent millions of dollars, they would want to upgrade, and they would create a new budget for new certain, suppose it's an investigation application. Suppose it's a financial application that has to connect to Exchange, right? For their critical tasks and critical business continuity related tasks. So it is, if it is an older application, then Microsoft says, don't worry, big companies and our loyal big clients, we still support old legacy because TLS protocol or less secure older protocols. So you could connect to your older applications, but at your own risk, try to update them as soon as possible, right? And then turn it, uncheck this option again. right? When you have newer application with modern authentication. So that's that setting. Enable reply all storm protection. Yeah, minimum number of recipients 1,000 to 5,000. If you send an email to suppose 1,000 users, you don't want anyone to click reply all button and say that I'm in, or okay, or will do, and those kind of simple replies, but the guy just clicked reply all. Now 1,000 people or 2,500 or even it goes to 5,000. So suppose you send email to 5,000 employees and somebody just clicks reply all to say I'm good, and it goes to 5,000 people, and that is ridiculous. So enable reply all storm is already enabled here because that is really ridiculous, and the organization or organizer of the sender of that email then has to send to that person or everyone again that please do not click reply all, and if you want to reply, just click reply only, don't click reply all, because it's an email storm coming with very, you know, the message that is not critical. It's just I'm good or okay or will do, but it's going to everyone, and if everyone is doing that, wow, good luck. So it's already blocked, so that's good. But you suppose you want to increase that. Suppose there is happening that when 3,000 people were emailed and somebody clicked reply all, it actually happened and reply all didn't work because you did not increase the limit to 3,000, right? So limit with 2,500, but above that, if you put, then it will block bigger storms as well. Minimum number of replies to 20, minimum at least 10. You know, if this happens to 10 people, then block it, and block duration 1 to 24 hours. Somebody is replying all. So for 6 hours, it will be blocked, unless somebody really have to put some very important message that needs to go to the same 5,000 people, right? So these are some of the common settings of mail flow here in Exchange Online. Then there's hybrid setup, and yes, that is just connect and manage both your on-premises and Exchange Online organization. So do you have this kind of setup where you have Toronto branch and you have Exchange server installed on premises and you have Exchange Online in the cloud and they are connected to each other? In that case, Microsoft Hybrid Configuration Wizard is there. Suppose I click the configure button. It downloads an application and it then tries to discover in the organization how many Exchange servers you have. So there's this Microsoft Online CSE Hybrid Client application that got downloaded. I click the folder there. So then I'm gonna double click that, and Microsoft Online CSE Hybrid Client. Application cannot be started. Contact the application vendor. Obviously, you have to download it on a Exchange server machine, so it could discover how many Exchange servers are there, or on the domain controller machine. Suppose this is a DC domain controller, or the Active Directory is installed on the Windows server. So Active Directory has all the information of how many Exchange servers are there, right? So that application has to be installed on certain server that has information about if there are any Exchange servers installed or not. Then the whole wizard then gives you more information. So platform version, blah blah blah. So yeah, it just gives more information, but this application will not run because I'm running it on Windows 11. It has to be a server OS because Exchange server is installed. Application is installed on a server OS, right? Okay, so Jimin also shows one more thing, and yes, that was something I use. Oh, okay, let me just share it here. And exactly. So alias setting is here as well. And one of the scenario where I use this setting. If you go to admin, Microsoft 365 Admin Center, which is Active Directory related area. So, and then you go for some user, and when you click that, yes, we can change the alias. We can put a new alias there as well. In fact, it happened multiple times in my company that we have my junior administrator created a username and there was a spell mistake. Now that user was already logged into the Outlook with that username. She already logged in from SharePoint. She logged in from pretty much every application from her device as well with that username. And then she realized there was a typo there, wrong spellings. So then she asked that, hey, can you change that? So in older times, what happened used to happen that if you put a username and it has been used with applications, it's pretty difficult to change that username. We have to tell the user, hey, we have to create another one or delete this and create another one and set you up with all the applications again. But here in Microsoft 365, on-premises I'm talking about, it used to be like that we then could not change the actual I'm talking about actual. So actually, I should not be hurry here, right? So suppose there's a spell mistake and the user has logged in from many applications. So the good thing about Microsoft 365 is that even if she has logged in from many applications and made changes to many applications as well, so if you can still change the actual name as well, and it will just simply replicate on all applications automatically in Teams and SharePoint, wherever else. But yes, this is alias information, which is the other name of another name that you can give with the email address, right? So in the mailbox, I was looking it there, searching it there, but it's actually in 365 Admin Center. So thank you, Jamin, for sharing that. And I'll just actually do that and show you here as well. So if I go here, Admin Center, users and active users, but it's Admin Center while I was looking in Exchange Admin Center. So there are many settings there that we can't possibly remember every setting. So in that case, obviously, yeah, there's that manage username and email, and you can just put an alias here as well. So she is director. If she wants to send email as director IT or director finance, suppose she is director finance or IT, right? So you could just create another alias email here as well. Now this director ID at master, this can also be used by the same user, but then you have to enable that option there in sharing, right? No, in settings, excuse me, organization and settings, and then mail flow. That's where we were. Now you can enable that turn on sending from alias, but that option was not here in HTML. It was there in this. So you have a proper new email address as well for the same user. But if you select that option, then this user will be able to use this as well. When she's sending, she can just change the from as that, right? So this is that setting. Okay, thank you for sharing that, Jimmy. But I've still turned it off. But now this is also good. I wanted to go ahead with the hybrid setup. Yeah, so we were talking about hybrid setup, and that is if if you have Exchange on premises already installed, it automatically detects that and lets you go with more options and check that if you have a connector also there or not. There are many other features that are now coming and very interesting compliance and security features. So we're going to be going through all those features as well in the other features. Now they put these in other features because they are in the process of moving them away. They have actually moved them away. Data loss prevention used to be part of the Exchange server, but they moved it to compliance.microsoft.com. And malware filter used to be an Exchange server, but now they have moved it to security.microsoft.com. But they obviously these are all features that implement on Exchange Online, and they are living in these areas now. They used to be inside Exchange Admin Center, but they have been moved away from Exchange Admin Center to compliance and security. So we're going to be talking about all those now. There's a lot of features, but very important. And in the interview, obviously, they will be asking you that, or in the project, you have to implement that. So let's start those features after the break, after these messages. Oh, I don't have any message. So yeah, let's come back after the break and continue with some security and compliance features, which is the backbone of any company. So break, class, parts, hardware, 28, 38, central. Okay. Oh man. Okay. Now can you hear me? I was talking all about this. Okay. All right. Thank you, Ajay. Sorry for this. I forgot to turn off the, or disable the mic mute button on my keyboard. So, but I only enabled the button on WebEx. Software, hardware disabled. Okay. Anyway, so what I was saying, yeah, when the mouse was moving, then you may have realized that, oh, he's talking. Okay. So yeah, what I was talking about here was that other features, and these features are all they were part of Exchange Online and still are as well, but their buttons have been, their configurational areas have been moved to compliance.microsoft.com and security.microsoft.com. And what I'm saying here is that for your own career, compliance.microsoft.com, whatever is on this page, and security.microsoft.com, whatever is on that page. These are all very, very important for you. All the features on compliance.microsoft.com and security.microsoft.com are very important for you, right? Here, what we see, okay, so what we see here is that we're going to go for auditing first, and auditing yet to be decided. So they are saying yet to be decided for what? For auditing. A new admin center, where to take, yet to be migrated. Migration status yet to be migrated, and yet to be decided where to put it, auditing. Either on compliance or security, but they haven't. So it's in outlook.office365.com. Parent feature is still compliance management. So what we can do is we can just follow the link there, and then we can just upload it on. Yeah. So I'm going to click that outlook.office.com, and we're going to check the auditing feature. So what is the benefit of auditing feature? The benefit of auditing feature, obviously, auditing is that it keeps the record of what you're doing with a timestamp. And where were you, which application or which feature did you deploy, or did you delete anything? It's going to audit that. Audit reports are already, some critical audit reports are already configured in Exchange. And many audit reports you can configure, customized audit reports you can configure yourself as well. Now, if it decides to open today, so you have to be decided. Where is it taking us? Outlook or Office? Okay, I opened another link actually. You can confirm if it's opening on your side, but auditing was configured with some default critical areas of auditing where we want auditing to be already enabled. So it's already configured with some of those things. Okay, so what we need to do here is, oh yeah, it's open now. Oh, it's taking me back to Exchange Classic. Try the new admin center, but it's taking us. So they haven't decided where to put that auditing feature, either in security or in compliance. So that's why they haven't moved it to the from the Classic Exchange Center, admin center. And this is how it used to be, the Classic Exchange admin center. So this is, I mean, it has some memories for me here because I've been teaching on Classic Exchange Center for quite some time. So those are now anyway. Auditing is enabled for. It is already configured for these 8 scenarios. What are those 8 scenarios? Run a non-owner mailbox report, access report. Run a non-owner mailbox access report. So what is a non-owner mailbox access report? So somebody actually access your mailbox. Obviously, you're the owner, but someone else access your mailbox. So that report is there. Now, how do we do that? I think I've shown that before as well. If I go to Outlook, and if I have access to someone else's mailbox, then I can. So for shared mailbox, I showed you that you have to just go to the top right here, and then click open another mailbox, right? So once you click on open another mailbox, it just asks that what mailbox do you want to open, and then it simply yeah. So if you have, suppose there's Adele mailbox and you have access to the Adele's mailbox, then you can open her mailbox. But this gets audited as well. So it's not like you're going unchecked here. Suppose I want to access adults mailbox. What do? I will go to Exchange Admin Center. I will go to mailboxes here. I'll go to adults mailbox. If it loads today. And then I will go to delegation, and here read and manage full access. So if you don't want to send as Adele the email, others will not know that it's actually you sending, but they will just see that Adele is sending. We talked about that before. And send on behalf, you want to send on behalf of Adele, you can get it here. But if you just want to access and change any of the features of the mailbox of Adele, then you could be added here, read and manage access. So if I click edit here, add members, and then go for my name, and yeah, and select that and save and confirm. So now I have full read and manage access. Manage means I can modify anything inside our mailbox, right? So that kind of access, if I have, and I have accessed the mailbox, then this audit report will tell me that what time last year or this year or previous month you had access that. Obviously, it's not allowed to access anyone else's. You're an admin, right? But you should get an approval from your senior management, and you should get a consent from the user that, hey, can I access your mailbox? And if the user says yes, whose end user can say yes, then only you should be able to access the mailbox. If you are connecting to somebody's mailbox without their permission, that really, and you're caught up, you're in big mess then. Maybe you will be fired, or they could even go further with this, right? So you can't just connect to anyone's mailbox without their consent first. Run a non-owner mailbox report. Now I did, with this account, I did access shared mailbox. So it says that start date is July 28 till August 12th, 2 weeks. And so search these mailboxes or leave blank to find all mailboxes accessed by non-owners. So if I leave blank, and yes, search for access by administrators. Yes, this account from which I accessed the shared mailbox in few classes before. So search for access by administrators. I'm just gonna click search, and it actually does not. Maybe it was not 2 weeks ago. Maybe it was 3 or 4 weeks ago. But if I go, there's nothing showing here right now. All non-owners. So yeah, I was not the owner of that mailbox. Yeah, now it gives a report that IT support mailbox was accessed, and other shared mailbox or email groups were accessed by the administrator, right? Performed by Amr Shahzad on this date, and the operation was sent as. So in IT support, yes, I had send as permission because I was added to it, so I was automatically given send as permission. So it's correct. The reports are correct, and then these are groups actually, right? So it's the mailbox. So it was a shared mailbox, so that's why this report is correct. And I was not the owner, but I was added there. It was a shared mailbox, so no one was owner. Okay, close. I'm gonna close that. But these audit reports are there, and no, you are an admin, but your whatever you do will not go unchecked, right? So that's the main point here. And then there is run an administrator role group report, and this is just if we have given any admin role to someone, right? So it is that report. So who gave which user an admin role? So there's that. I think I did add last week certain users to certain roles. So there should be a report for that too. And what time I did that, which user I added to, right? Well, one day, Monday or Sunday, it's gonna I click the search again, and yeah, one more thing is I added that 2 hours ago, right? Or within 2 hours. Oh, there you go. So, but I also added last week. So anyway, it took time, but yes, organization management added members. So this guy added some members in organization management on this date. So the audit report is showing that RIM mailbox created a new role group. Okay, just to create a new role group. So, I was creating today a custom role group, and they were getting created without any error. So all that was audited, and it's in the report now. So that's very good. Run an administrative role group report, run, excuse me, an in-place e-discovery and hold report. So e-discovery, this is an upcoming topic. We can search across all mailboxes for a specific email, right? Run an in-place e-discovery and hold report. So if I click that, so that's gonna just, so we didn't do any discovery yet because it's an upcoming topic. So I don't think anything will be coming here. Run a per mailbox litigation hold. So did we put a litigation hold on someone? Litigation hold means that someone is under investigation and you have someone is under investigation, right? And you have put litigation hold on that mailbox. So litigation hold just means that a user deletes anything, but that thing is still preserved for investigation. So litigation hold means just that. So how many mailboxes were put on litigation hold? None. So, and export mailbox and audit log. Suppose you want to export all the log files for the audit report, you can export that for later investigation. Run the admin audit log report. So whatever admins have been doing, you want to export that somewhere. Export the admin audit log, and then there is so this is run the admin audit log report. It just runs it, but this is the one that exports whatever admin has been doing. You can export those files for later use as well. Run the external admin and audit log report. So this run the external admin audit log report just means that suppose suppose some external user or vendor connected to your organization and try to configure something for you. So someone from outside tried to connect and do something for you. Then there's an external admin audit log report as well. It says here, view entries from the admin audit log about configuration changes made to your Exchange Online Services by Microsoft or by a dedicated admin. So you gave some other user account admin privileges, and that user account made some changes to the Exchange Online. So, or someone from Microsoft connected, then made some changes. So that's the report for that. Certain condition access policy, I did not change that. Actually, for explanation, I did go through that. But there are so many things that are supposed to be done in the background. These are all PowerShell commanders, actually, static condition access policy and everything, right? So that's the audit report. If we go for, if I go back here to this one, okay, that is still here. And this was, I'm just going to close the audit report, but audit reports are there for purpose, obviously. So you should keep an eye on your audit reports. I'm going to go to the Exchange Admin Center and then other features again. There's auditing and it has audit report. Then there is data loss prevention. So this is DLP. Now this is very, very important because data loss prevention is all about that you do not you prevent any kind of critical data to be leaked and sent outside of your organization. So what is the critical data? Critical data obviously could be credit card information or banking information or insurance company information or any other kind of information, right? So it's data loss prevention. I'm going to just go there to the compliance.microsoft.com now. All right, guys, so you can see first thing, compliance.microsoft.com. We are no longer in Exchange Admin Center. In fact, we are in Microsoft Purview, right? So Microsoft Purview is showing all compliance related information, and all those features are very, very important. So it's the DLP that we have landed on, and it's you can see the link here as well, data loss prevention, compliance.microsoft.com/data loss prevention. So data loss prevention is use data loss prevention DLP policies to help identify and protect your organization's sensitive info. You cannot let any sensitive info be leaked or sent outside by any of your employee accidentally or deliberately. So for example, you can set up policies to help make sure information in email and documents isn't shared with the wrong people. Okay, so that's data loss prevention, and there are very good policies here that actually makes sure that any of the, you have to define that what kind of data are you protecting, right? DLP, data loss prevention, right? Okay. Okay, so if your role group permissions are restricted to a specific set of users. So anyway, I'm going to go for, we need to obviously explore what are the data loss prevention policies here. So I'm just going to click create policy here. When we go to the create policy, start with template or create a custom policy. So what are the templates, some of the templates, and that will tell us what are the data loss policies or DLPs there. So suppose I go for financial. This is a good example of understanding what is DLP. Suppose I go for financial and I go for Canada financial data. So what are the two? Helps detect the presence of information commonly considered to be financial data in Canada, including bank account numbers and credit cards, right? These, it will detect credit card numbers in where? In emails, in Teams chat, in Word, Excel, PowerPoint documents that are being shared outside. And then it will either give a warning, it will audit that, oh, you're sending this information outside, so we are auditing you and we now know that you're doing that. Or you can outright prevent it from happening, right? So those DLP policies are pretty important. Yeah. So here, first we select financial, then Canada financial data, but you can see that there's medical and health, there's enhanced. So if we go for enhanced US German Leach, Liley Act, BLBA, enhanced. So these are some of the policies. If you click that, helps detect the presence of information subject to Graham-Leach Liley Act, including information like social security numbers or credit card numbers. This enhanced template extends the original by also detecting people's full names, US, UK passport number, US drivers. Okay, so here it's Australia health records. So all kind of health records, Australia tax file number, Australia medical account number, all full names, all medical terms and conditions, Australia physical address. So suppose somebody is discussing actually medical terms and conditions. Hey, he or she has a cancer, and maybe there are some, talk about procedures, some kind of medical procedures that need to be done, and that information is being sent outside of the organization, so it will prevent those kind of emails or text chats or documents that are being shared outside or sent outside. So this is, you can see how in depth then DLP goes. When it goes to HIPAA, US health insurance, then it's ACT, business healthcare, employee insurance files, health medical forms, P2 identifiers, and so on, US physical addresses, even US physical addresses. If you're sending email with US physical address, it's going to stop that. So it goes on, and Japan, US, GDPR. So in financial, you see Australia, Canada, France, Germany, Israel, Saudi Arabia, UK, and so all the laws of some of the countries there, but you can download more templates there as well. So it says learn more about DLP policy templates, medical health and privacy, and custom. So custom is then you choose what exactly you want prevented. So I'm just going to go for financial and Canada financial excuse me, data. And then I'm going to click next. So in that, Canada financial data, create a DLP policy to detect sensitive data across locations and apply protection actions when the conditions match. Yeah, it's Canada financial data. I'm going to click next and choose the admin units you'd like to assign this policy to. So admin units are created in Azure Active Directory and restrict the policy to a specific set of users or groups. Your selections will affect the location options available to you in the next step. If you want to assign this policy to all users and groups, select next and proceed. Well, I want to actually not go for specific users. I want to go for all users. Admin is full directory. If you want to assign this policy to all users, select next. So I want to apply it on all users. Next. So that's where you want to check that from which applications the sensitive information could be leaked out. There's a possibility, and you can then put restriction there. So exchange email on. So it says we'll apply the policy to data that's stored in the locations you choose. If your group permissions are restricted to a specific set of users or groups, you will only be able to apply this policy to those users or groups. Protecting sensitive info in on-premises repositories like SharePoint sites and file shares is now in preview. It's for on-premises. But anyway, included is all. Exchange email all is there already, unless you don't want this implemented on all, but only on few distribution groups, then it's going to be few, right? So other than that, SharePoint's all, OneDrive accounts all, Teams and chat and channel messages all, Microsoft Defender for cloud apps all, on-premises repository all. So so there's Power BI, and Power BI is just all about automation, that 3 or 4 applications are working together automatically. If there's data there that could be shared outside as well, so you can put restrictions there as well. ONK. So I'm going to keep it as is because I don't want to choose specifics. I just want all the applications to comply about the Canadian banking information. From any of these applications, the Canadian banking related information should not be leaked from any of these applications. I'm going to click next without changing anything. Now it says review and customize default settings from the template, credit card number, Canada bank account number. Let's go for create or customize advanced DLP rules. Okay, yeah, options don't change. Yeah, okay. So review and customize, create or customize. Well, I'll go for review and customize because I already created this that, hey, I don't want any credit card numbers of Canadian credit card number. And anyone knows if there's a difference between credit card numbers of US and Canada? Is there a difference between the credit card numbers of US and Canada or not? Is there? Exactly, as you said. So there is a difference between credit card numbers of US. Actually, nobody said anything. Yeah, I understand it's very good weather outside. Okay, and so is there a difference in credit card numbers in US and Canada? Yeah, it is. Is it? In other words, what are Canadian and US credit card numbers, the cards the same? Truth be told, US credit cards are generally better with increased rewards and low, and it has to do with merchant fees. The US credit card companies can. Hey, isn't the difference of numbers like Canadian credit cards have 12 numbers and US has different? Do my US credit cards work in Canada? How many digits now? There you go. So 16, okay, both are 16, so there's no difference. What do the credit card numbers on each card mean? The majority of credit card issuers have 16 digits displayed across. Only American Express has 15. The first 6 digits, then okay, yeah, it's the same credit card. Okay, so they are not different. First thing, but yeah, when we go for Canadian credit card number in DLP, the US has a different way to detect US credit card, and then DLP has different way to detect Canadian credit card. So why is that then, if they're same? Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about. So I'm just gonna go for review and customize default settings from the template. Next. This policy will protect content that matches these conditions, review them, and make any necessary changes. For example, you can edit the conditions to detect additional sensitive info or content that has specific sensitivity or retention labels applied. So there's a lot more now. Detect when this content is shared from Microsoft 365. These numbers, do you want to edit these? Do you want to add something else other than credit card number and Canada bank account number? So if I click edit, so do you want to, so this is credit card number high confidence and Canada bank account number medium confidence. So if there is, I'm going to go high confidence as well. This means that at once, take it seriously, take it more seriously. High confidence means harshest restrictions will apply, right? And if I click add here, sensitive info types, do you want to add something else? Then there are all full names. Somebody put a full name and then sending that email. Seriously, would you want to block that? Okay. All credential types, all medical terms and conditions. So you can actually add insurance company, medical terms, Australia driving license number. Hey, how about Canadian driver's license? Canada driving license. Oh, the Canada driving license is not that critical, right? But all of the driving licenses are critical. Okay, so that's kind of discriminating. But anyway, whoever requested whatever. So passport number, Australian passport number, Australia. A, okay, Canada. Okay, Canada bank account number. Oh, Canada driver's license. It was there. Health service number, passport number, Canada personal health, physical address, social insurance number. I am just trying to add something that we can test on. Canada bank account number, about driver's license number. Okay, so I'll just add that to Canada driver's license number other than bank information. If it is being mentioned here and it's sent outside an organization, then either audit it or block it, right? So you can add pretty much a lot of stuff. I'm going to click save here. With people outside my organization, so detect when this content is shared from Microsoft with people outside, or even if it is shared inside, you can even go for that too. Wow, that's amazing. Oh, then I can test, just for testing the DLP policy, I'm just going to go for inside my organization. But yes, if it works with inside, it's going to work with outside as well, right? So I'm just going to click next. And it's kind of tricky when it implements, but it does implement and it works perfectly. We'll automatically create detailed activity reports so you can review the content that matches this policy. What else do you want to do? When content matches the policy conditions, show policy tips to users and send them an email notification. So if you're about to send credit card information to another employee inside, right now configured, or outside if it is configured, then it's going to give you policy tip. It's going to show you, tell you that, hey, you're going against the company policy, and see, customize the tip and email. So we can even customize the tip. So notify the user who sent, shared, or last modified the content. Notify these people. The person who sent, owner of the SharePoint, owner of the SharePoint one-time content. Excuse me. So you can customize the tip as well, that you're going against the company policy by sharing secret sensitive information to others. So you're being audited. This could be the message, or it could be anything else. Detect when a specific amount of sensitive info is being shared at one time. At least 10 or more instances of the same sensitive. Suppose I go for even once you're sharing. So what does this mean anyway? This means that if 10 times the information is met, suppose there are 10 bank accounts numbers, suppose there are 10 credit card numbers being mentioned and shared, then it will take action. I say no. Even if one time somebody mentions the credit card number or bank account information, then take action. Send incident reports and email. Yeah. Send alerts if any of the DLP rules match. Yes. Restrict access or encrypt the content and associated applications. Ouch. Okay. If I restrict access and I do it from my account, that's not going to be good. Okay, let's think about it. What to do? We can enable auditing and the policy tips. If policy tips appear, this means it's working, right? Next, customize access and override settings. By default, users are blocked from sending email and Teams chats and channel messages that contain the type of content you're protecting. Okay, so already they're gonna block that user, but you can choose who has access to shared SharePoint and OneDrive files. You can also decide if you want to let people override the policy restrictions. Whoa, why would we want people to override? Well, it's there for a reason. Maybe, if it's a CEO sending that information, CEO is the boss, right? So CEO can override, right? But obviously it's going to be audited. You will know still. Restrict access or encrypt the content in Microsoft 365 application. Block users from receiving email. Hey, it says by default users are blocked. Yeah, so I'll stick with that. Restrict third-party apps. So there are some third-party apps which are famous ones where users do share data. Box, G Suite, Cisco WebEx, Dropbox, Salesforce, right? Use one of the automatic actions provided by Microsoft Defender for cloud apps. So you can restrict sharing information to these third-party sites as well from your organization. Restrict access or encrypt. If I don't enable that, they are saying by default they block the users. So why then the same option is unchecked. But by default, they say that, so I'll buy that. Restrict access or remove on-premises files. Block people from accessing files stored in on-premises repositories. So this is about on-premises as well. If you have a credit card information or bank account information or driver's license information, it's going, and if it's an on-premises, your account will still be blocked, right? So for now, not enabling anything, but we can always come back and enable more restrictions. I'm going to click next. Test it out first. Yeah, show policy tips while in test mode. Well, turn it on right away. After the policy is created, it will take up to an hour for it to take effect. Okay. Okay. Hour it is. But I hope I remember that I don't test it from my account. I will, you know what? Why don't we just put it on some accounts? Because I don't want to be locked out, because it's gonna block me, right? Policy settings, edit, choose distribution group where you want the policy to be implemented, right? So if I go for sales and marketing, and so policy will now implement only on these guys then. Whoever part of that, I am part of many of these as well. Okay, so yeah, I just have to be careful. I'm not clicking next. Yeah, so next, finish. That's it. submit. I'll just have to be careful. Hopefully I don't block myself out when I'm testing this policy. So it's going to work after an hour. Ah, seriously. Okay, it's already half an hour left. Excuse me. We need to test it. How do we test it? We need to have a fake Canadian credit card number that is being sent out from the email. It's an internal policy. So from one user to another, whoever is sending that, so I can just open another account and send it from their fake credit card number to another internal account, and there should be a policy tip that should implement, right? Now here, new private window, I have the accounts of J. Bieber, I'll go and log into that. Sometimes it says 1 hour, but it implements very soon, much earlier than that. So I'll log in from one because it's this policy has been implemented org-wide, right? Okay, once it is the user logs in, so this user, okay, I want to set up skip setup. Yes, still logged in. Oh. Okay, so this is being sent to the admin because I'm logged in from that other account, and test DLP1. But I need a credit card information. So if we go for fake Canadian credit card for test purpose, if you search that, you will get a lot of fake credit cards there. Test card numbers. See this? Test card numbers. And those test card numbers you can test. But they are following the exact credit card format. So test big Canadian credit card numbers here for developers. So this is okay. CVV we can put there any three numbers, right? But it's the format in which the credit card works. So I'll go there and put this information. That's the credit card number. Oh, what happened? Oh, okay. It's in a table format. I'll just go here and remove the tabular format, like it's just data, because it copied some Excel tables there. I cannot press enter. Does it work now? Yeah, it's okay. It's going to the other line. Premiere, and that's the NCBV is 209. I don't know, whatever. So that's how the credit card numbers are normally in this format, right? Policy, your email conflicts with the policy in your organization. Oh man, it comes right away. Your organization recommends that you change the sensitivity to confidential, anyone unrestricted. Your message, your email message conflicts with the policy. Wow, it implemented right away. As soon as I put this information, see, it works right away. Amazing. And if I go to view details, please verify the recipients of the current and it conflicts with the organization policy. View results about the information that appears sensitive. Okay, so see, I told you that it's the DLP implements right away. I'm going to send this, and maybe Justin Bieber gets blocked. And I've sent it to the admin. So let's see what how DLP treats. Oh, whoa, what is this? So I sent that information to the administrator. Your shared content that contains one or more credit card numbers with people outside your organization. Consider removing the numbers or make sure it's okay that everyone you're sharing with can view that. Oh, okay. So you're removing the conflicts with the policy in your organization issues. Messages sent to people within your organization. Message contains the following sensitive information, credit card number. Wow. So it sent a lot of warnings and to the user that what you're doing is wrong. The shared contains one or more credit card numbers with people outside your organization. Actually goes inside. Consider removing the numbers or make sure it is okay. How do I make sure it's okay? So can the user make sure it's okay? Download, preview, save to. So if I open the message, and yes, I'm sharing credit card information, where does it say that I can say okay? Forward. If I try to reply all, yeah, so it's not, it's just a warning email, but it does work right away, DLP. Wow, amazing. Yeah, that's it. So it has sent that you better not do it, right? So that's what it's saying. So yeah, it's tested and it works. DLP works fine, and Canadian financial credit, information is not allowed to be sent outside of this organization. So this is good. You're protecting the sensitive data now. Make sure it's deleted when no longer relevant to your organization. Yeah. And it's done. Create an insider risk policy to investigate and take action on insider risks and threats. Create a records management policy to automatically retain or delete sensitive information. And done. Anyway, so did I receive any information? Because okay, so there is current forward. Oh, the forwarding is disabled. This was the forwarding that I was doing, but I, as an admin, did not receive that credit card information from Justin. And Justin received 2 more emails now. Could not be forwarded. This is Justin Bieber's email, right? And it's just not allowing. So I'm going to remote server return access denied. Your organization does not allow external forwarding. Please contact. Oh yeah, there was a forwarding I configured on Bieber as well. I'll just turn off that forwarding because organization wide I have. Oh, it is turned off. Okay. So guys, yeah, DLP works fine. That's the main message that we need to know. And it's a very good security policy. And Canada financial data. This is it, right? So you can put any kind of policy there, Australian or any other country, and you can put restrictions on all accounts here. One more thing, I'll try to check if Bieber's account was blocked. If I go to J Bieber. So if I click that, no block sign-in is not there. So it's not blocked, but The policy tip was given, but the email that with correct information that this user was sending to the administrator, so that email was blocked. So the email never reached the administrator, right? So that's good. User was not blocked, but the email was blocked effectively with a lot of warning emails that the user received. So that's pretty good. ONK. So we were talking about this other features, and we were talking about data loss prevention. It lives inside compliance, and it works perfectly. ONK. There is retention policies as well, and retention policies is that you want to retain emails for how long? So you want to retain it for 1 year, 2 year, 10 years, forever, year. So effectively, the compliance policy here, it's going to take me to the compliance.microsoft.com, which is a Microsoft Purview, and the admin center is called Purview, and it still takes us to Exchange Legacy, where the retention policy is there. So it says here, we do not recommend using this option except for moving items from a primary to an archive mailbox and applying retention or deletion settings to default folders. We recommend that you use retention policies in Microsoft 365 to protect content in SharePoint, OneDrive, Exchange, and 365 groups. So it's saying that, hey, don't create retention policies here, but go to Microsoft 365 for retention policies. So it says try it out here. So retention policies are just to retain or keep your emails for how long? Maybe for 10 years you want. The law says that financial data of your employees must be retained, saved, or backed up for last 7 years. This is the law. If government somehow wants to investigate your employee, and the government can then ask for last 7 years of financial data for your employee, and you need to produce that data, provide that data. If you are unable to do that, the government can put hefty fines on your company. ONK. So it says try it out here. Instead of creating it here, just go to Microsoft 365 for retention policies, right? So I'm going to go try it out. So there's data lifecycle management. That's the place where they have moved the retention policies to, and there's retention policies here. Your users create a lot of content every day, from emails to Teams and Yammer conversations. This is also another application. Use retention policies to keep the content you want and get rid of what you don't need. So that's the retention policy. If your role group permissions are restricted to a specific set of users or groups, okay, yeah, do you have the permission to create retention policies or not? So, okay, there you go. So there's a retention policy here, but you have to create labels first, and then create it. So let me just show you how it's there. So new retention policy. Suppose I go for directly for retention policy, and again, it's for retaining emails. How long do you want? 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, right? So name your retention policy here. Test retention. Control A, Control C, Control V here. Put in the description as well. Next. And choose the admin units you'd like to apply this policy to. Your selections will affect the options you have at the locations selection step. Okay, so admin units is coming again. Where is it? So if you go to identity, it was there in the Azure Active Directory, right? Admin units. If I go to identity, and admin unit says that okay, so you can just put certain users and groups in an admin units, that these you can only handle this, or the policy applies only on that. Suppose it's just Toronto based users, so you collect all the users and call that admin unit Toronto employees. Maybe there are New York branch, so New York branch based employees and groups you can add to another admin unit, right? So now they have changed all that up and down. So admin units is supposed to be here. Application. Oh man, they've put up and down everything again. Admin unit. I think it could be in a users. Access reviews. 5-second works. Show more. Okay, show more. Identity overview users. If I go to all users, admin units have been moved here or not. Nope. Could be in all groups. No. Admin units, no. Devices, no way. Applications, no. Rules. Oh yeah, there you go. Admin units and roles and admins. So if you go for admin units here, I can click add here, and suppose it's Toronto Toronto branch employees, and control C and control V. Restricted management administrative unit. So this is just that you can mark this administrative unit for restricted management if you don't mark 10 level administrators to be inherited to roles on this. So yeah, if it's restricted, which means any one administrator can control that. But sometimes there are administrators that are added to higher areas, and they hierarchically get automatically added here as well. So that is what it is preventing it from assigning roles. Assign roles. I'm just going to go for that. And then, so I'm just creating one example admin unit just to show that, you know, what could be there. So user administrator. So the admin units, which means that suppose these are two admins and they are user administrators. And I know from, as an admin, I know that these guys are employees in Toronto branch, right? So Toronto branch employees, which are user administrators. So that could be one admin unit. So I'm just going to go back here, data lifecycle management. Suppose I go for admin unit, so it does show armor test, which was the admin unit already created there. And was added there? Users, no users, groups, no. Okay, no one's added there. I can add some because it's showing here, and I just printed now the other admin unit, so it's not showing current branch employees, which are user administrators. It's not showing yet here, but I can add admin units as well. That's the point. And how to create admin units, I just showed you that as well. But I'm implementing this retention policy for everyone. Suppose I don't want to go for admin unit. So next. And there's adaptive and static. A policy can be adaptive or static. Advantage of an adaptive policy will automatically update where it's applied based on attributes or properties you'll define. A static policy is applied to a content in a fixed set of locations and must be manually updated if those locations change. So if there's a new site, or suppose you added some you want to retain emails in a group called marketing group, but then somebody renamed that group to Toronto marketing group. So in static, you have to come here as well and tell that please apply the retention policy to the same group, but its name has changed now. So you have to tell here that the name has changed, but adaptive will just automatically update itself. Okay, you change the name of that email group or distribution list. So I'm going to change here automatically as well. So I'll stick to adaptive and click next. So choose adaptive policy scopes and locations. After adding one or more adaptive policy scopes, will show you the Microsoft 365 locations that are supported by the attributes or properties defined in scopes. You can then decide which of those locations to apply the policy to. So anyway, in English, what it says is, where do you want to apply this policy, right? Choose locations to apply the policy. So if I click add scope, first of all, so where do you want? So it's across the organization I want to apply. Actually, I selected that. Many users, groups, and sites currently match the attribute. So I'm going to click add here. Suppose I'm adding a scope that who to implement this policy on. Actually, there was nothing to select, right? So select here. There are users. No data available. It should actually auto-populate if it was like that. You can set up data connectors to import content from non-Microsoft apps, Slack, WhatsApp, and many more for use with this solution. And it goes. Anyway, I had put all, so based on the scopes you added, this policy can be applied to content in these locations, which is Exchange mailboxes. Think I'm doing something. If I go for static, does it let me select that? Oh, now it's letting me select. It's actually on. I wanted it on, but there it needs me to set up scopes here when it goes to adaptive. So yeah, that would be extra work here as well. Adaptive policy scope, which consists of attribute properties. So I have to check it out, but I'm just gonna go for static because I need to show this feature now. So retention, I want to retain emails for how long. I want to retain websites, classic sites for how long. I want to retain OneDrive account data for how long, right? And mailboxes and sites. If you're gonna go for public folders, Teams channel messages, you want to retain them, keep them for 7 years. Team chats, do you want them to be kept? So you can just keep on selecting whatever you want. Actually, if you select from here, it's gonna unselect all above. This means you're customizing now that, okay, not everything, but some of the things. So I want to actually go for all, but then this will get unselected. So this is a customized area, but I want to go for retention policy to be implemented on every application mentioned here. Next, you want to retain data for 7 years. Retain items for a specific. This is the default one, right? Because this is the law in many countries that for 7 years the data could be kept. It's actually financial data, but yeah, it says here any data retain items for a specific period, but you can go for 5 years, 10 years, and you can even go custom. And if I go custom, is there forever? No, there's no protect forever. So yeah, it's just 7 years. And then start the retention period based on when items were created. So suppose you emailed today, you went for click new email, and then you sent that email today. So from today, 7 years onwards, it's gonna be retained or kept here and not automatically deleted or removed. Retain items forever. So there is that retain items forever as well. But forever is something that, you know, the strange thing is we tried to implement it in our company recently, and the forever feature does not work. So in fact, let me select forever, only delete items when they reach a certain age. Or you can just put that, okay, if it's been 7 years, then go ahead and automatically delete them, or keep it for 7 years and then you decide what to do with them after 7 years have passed, or keep them forever. So suppose I put forever. Next. Okay, I want to keep all the emails, all the SharePoint sites, all the files in the OneDrive, and all the emails in group mailboxes forever. I want to keep them forever. So submit. Allow up to a week for the retention policy to be enforced. Wow, up to a week. Create another retention policy, create an adaptive scope, create retention label. So what are then labels after we create our retention? So here we see that this is all out. I want to keep everything in Exchange and SharePoint forever and OneDrive. So it's pretty straightforward, but companies might not want that because it's gonna add up to the data storage cost as well. The more files you keep on adding every day, obviously, there's a storage cost involved as well, right? So create retention label, there's that thing here as well. If I click that, this is the name of the label your users will see in the apps where it's published, like Outlook, SharePoint, and OneDrive. So be sure to come up with the same name that helps them understand what it's used for. Mark labels with reports management to access even more labels, create a label with records management. Anyway, what's the label? So keeping emails, keeping data forever. Okay. What I say, enter description that's helpful for users, or leave blank to use the default description. Okay, I'll leave blank. What are the default description that appears? We can check it. Enter description that helpful for the administrators. Next, retain items forever for a specific period, or for a specific period. Enforce actions after a specified period. Just label items. So, do you want this label to enforce something as well? Enforce actions after a specific period. Suppose I go for that, or retain items forever, or for a specific period. So with a label, you get to choose some different time as well, right? So next, again, it's the same thing that we saw, but there is a forever here as well. And if you choose that, then there's no use of coming here to use. If you want to do something different than what you chose before, you can create a label there. Suppose it's 7 years. When item was created, when item was last modified, when items were labeled, product lifetime, employee activity, expiration or termination of contracts. So keep, as soon as the contract is terminated, user is blocked, keep it for 7 years. We can do that. Or when the user last modified. Now this is gonna extend time. So it's been 7 years, it's been 6.5 years, and the user accessed that data and actually made a modification. So that after modification, 7 years onward, it's gonna stay there. So if you choose this, but when items, if it's just related to created, so whenever it was created after 7 years passed, then you can just check. You can try to whatever you want to do. Create an event. An event type is simply a general description of an event you want to associate with a label. So event type could be it's been 7 years. So you can set an alert kind of thing that do you want to delete this data? Suppose you want to create a label and friendly description. I'm just putting the same. And this is for this is just a label that you can attach to any messages. After that, what you want? Delete items automatically will permanently remove labeled items from wherever they are stored. So remember that I put their label settings that this 7 years have passed. What do you want to do now? So after that, by law, we don't need it, but maybe some companies want the data forever to be kept. Start a disposition review. Let the disposition reviewers you assign in the next step decide if items can be safely deleted or whether or other actions such as changing the retention period should be taken. So do you want someone to decide that should be deleted or not the data, or do you want to just simply delete the data automatically after 7 years? or change the label. You can extend the period by choosing an existing label to replace this. So maybe you put another label that says keep for 7 more years. So you can do that after 7 years have passed, just again, 7 more years. Unless the 7 years are reaching and then you come back and check, oh, I don't want to put that label. So you can just change it to delete order items automatically, or someone reviews that. Run a Power Automate flow. So this is just some application runs and do something else, or just an email goes to you. So you can just put anything here. Deactivate retention settings. So after 7 years, do you want the retention settings to be deactivated? Labeled items won't be retained or deleted when the retention settings are deactivated. You will have to manually remove any items that you want to use. So automatically nothing will happen, and you will have to remove. So I'm just putting the delete items automatically after 7 years, right? Next, and create label. And then you can attach that label to any policy or any mailbox, and all those settings, all those emails in the mailbox will be retained after email has been created. Follow this label to Microsoft 365 locations. Auto apply this label to a specific type of content. Suppose I go for auto apply this content label to specific type of content. So done. And then it asks that you want to apply this label that after 7 years automatically delete my data. Do you want to apply this to some content? So test label apply to content. So first we create a label. We said that 7 years, when 7 years have passed, delete the data automatically. Now it's saying, okay, which content do you want this label to be applied to? Next, apply label to content that contains sensitive info. That's good. Suppose there is sensitive info about credit card, and apply label to content that contains specific words or phrases. Oh, suppose you want to go for specific words and phrases. So suppose that, hey, sell those shares, or welcome to, no, that's good common. Apply label to content that matches a trainable classifier. Wow. Apply label to cloud attachments and links shared in Exchange, Teams, and Viva Engage. So suppose I go for sensitive info here, and next, which sensitive info you want to apply label on. So that's pretty cool. Suppose I go for financial and Canada financial. So any data that has credit card, so it will be retained for 7 years by law. It's financial data, and then it will be removed automatically. That's what the label will do. Next, yes, on the credit card. If any of the emails have credit card numbers, or SharePoint site has credit card number, or I'm going to go static because I want to implement it on all. So all these areas where the credit card numbers and banking information is, it will be kept for 7 years, and then it will be deleted automatically. Keeping data forever, 7 years, keep plus delete. Yeah. So the name of the label is quite. I put that name there, but later I chose this policy, so the name does not coincide with the actual policy I implemented. So it could be keep for 7 years and then delete. I should have named this label like that. Anyway, next, and turn on policy now, or test the policy. So yeah, turn on policy. We can do that, or test the policy as well. Up to you. But this is how label works. You create a label, and you tell it what to do with the data, and then you implement it on the type of data you want to implement, right? So submit, and then finally, hopefully no other wizard starts now, but yeah, so it is finally done. So we created a sensitivity label as well, retention label, create another auto labeling policy. So yeah, we have defined what kind of data we want this label to work on. Okay, so we've talked about some of the policies here. Data loss prevention we have talked about, and the retention policies actually we were talking about. They're going to still continue from here. We're going to go for retention tags, internal rules, and so on. Have a nice weekend, and see you next week. Okay, bye-bye. All right. Bye. Thank you.